Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
My bite's not close to my bark, buddy. And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement. And if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Say this right here, baby, because some of y'all be acting like y'all don't be seeing it. But, baby, playing victim in a situation that you created, oh, yeah, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. Hello, somebody. How you gonna create the storm, then get mad when it rain? How you hurt somebody and then get mad that they hurt? How you damage somebody, go outside your way to destroy a person and then get mad when they no longer want to deal with you? Baby, playing a victim in a situation that you created, oh, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. I'm sorry, but it is.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Good morning, good morning. I love it. Inspire before you expire. The first to say good morning and to welcome all. It's nice to have you. Nice to see you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. TL, Ruby is in the house. Skittles, crime time. Miss Robin, whoop, whoop, whoop. Cynthia, good morning. Amy, it's nice to see you. Net L, Candy Apple, nice to see you. She reminds us, number 5, don't forget to thumb up as you come in this morning. We have a good topic, a message, and we're going to be, this has already been cut into a video. I haven't finished it just yet, the final video that will be going out, but this is the message that we're going to go over here in just a few moments, that Jen has for her daughter, and the hope that it may get to her somehow. So we are going to, this is going to be, I'm going to put this in a single so people can share it. We wanted to cross all social media, in an effort, if Layla's out there, maybe she can hear her mother, maybe she can see her mother, maybe she can get a hold of her mother. This is a thought we had just to, try to find her, right? Try to find her. So we will be getting that message. We'll be seeing that message here shortly. Again, this is not fully done yet, but it's coming along nicely, I think. I think it's coming along nicely. The Real Me Too, nice to see you. ZA, God bless you. Mom, Alabama Mama 4, nice to have you in here. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today. I'm not sure quite why it is. I promise you I wasn't on the Bullhorn. I promise I wasn't on the Bullhorn. I swear to God I wasn't on the Bullhorn. But I don't know. I come back here and maybe it was because I said all the F words yesterday. I was a little hot under the collar, but I'm glad I got it all out of the way so it didn't infect this morning. We're going to be rolling right into, working on Layla's case and getting information out there the best we can. And also we're going to, because I haven't been here, I figured since I've got to be updated on a few cases, we're going to all do that together. If I've got to get updated, you guys have to be updated too. So we're going to do some research here together after we're done talking about Layla Santanello and the efforts that we are, that are underway right now in an effort to locate her. There is a $2,000 reward out there for anybody that has any information right now, hard, cold cash right now in your hands today. You don't have to worry about filling out a piece of paper. You don't have to worry about checkboxing. If you find information that leads to the whereabouts of Layla Santanello, you, by the time of Layla being found, will have $2,000 hard, cold cash in your hands. You will have that in your hands, and that number we're hoping will go up. We're hoping it will go up. We're working on it. Jen has the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is linked in my description of this show. If you would like to help, we have a Dollar Will Do campaign. We are working this from every angle imaginable to try to find Layla and to bring her home safely. But as you guys can imagine, each passing day that hope diminishes for this mother. And we need to do everything we can to help and truly help, help from a place of love. So we'll be getting into that in just a little bit. So good morning. Sonia, good morning. It's nice to see you. Who else am I missing? I am Team Summer. Good morning, Love Bug. It's nice to see you here. Against crotch recording. Oh, don't change your name until we can have our freaking vote. I still haven't gotten our crotch gate up. We have to get our crotch gate up. We have to get that done. I promise you, as soon as this live is done, I will put all the video or all the photos up to make sure that I didn't miss any. And then once everybody says that that I haven't missed anything, we'll do that for 24 hours. By Thursday, we will vote. By Friday, somebody will be a winner, and there will be a shirt on their way. I don't know how long it'll take Sonia to get it, but I'm sure she does a great job, so you'll be getting it very shortly thereafter. It will be this week. I promise. I give you my word. I'm so sorry. Just life got, it's cases in life, so we'll get back to it. This week, this afternoon, you guys will please be on the lookout. If you submitted a Crotchgate or Flygate thumbnail, please be on the lookout for the community post today with all of them. They'll be numbered in the order in which they were received. They will also, if any of them's missing, if you don't see yours there, reach out to me immediately at bullhornbetty@gmail.com with your thumbnail. So I know that at least it'll be there for the voting, because the first one will be just to confirm that we have all of them. And then the second one will be, I'm going to have to try to figure out how to vote. I'm hoping it'll give me enough, bars on the poll to put everybody's number on it. If not, we'll probably have to do two different ones, because I'll probably have to break them up into two groups. And then we'll have to have the final vote of the two that were the winner of the two groups. I'm hoping I can do it all in one, but we'll see how the system works on YouTube soon enough, right? Soon enough. So good morning. Am I missing anybody? I'm going to scroll on down here. I think Linda Lou, it's nice to see you. MJ, I see you as well. Good morning, loves. I should say, good morning, Coffee Beans. Wild and Crazy, thank you for being here. Who else do we have? GG for Life, MJ, Kathy, nice to see you. Second Thesis, nice to see you as well. Nikki, it's nice to have you. And everybody else, I see Dustin. Good morning, Dustin. It's nice to see you. I gotta say good morning to everybody. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. A birdie, crime chat. I'm trying to scroll through here before I stop. I like to always try to say hi to everybody if I can, but it's nice to see all of you guys. And one beautiful lady, I forgot, I was in Kingsport, TJ Maxx, and my brain is so bad because I have so many things going on, and she told me what channel she was on. Very nice gal is too, if I recall. She told me her name. Golly, I can't remember. If she is in this chat or whatever, please let me know so I can write her name down. I will remember it. I remember faces. Names, not so much, but faces, definitely. Anyways, God bless you. She stopped me at TJ Maxx while I was buying socks. I needed socks. And she's like, oh my gosh, why are you here? And I told her. And so her and I were just chit-chatting. And it was just nice. It's nice to meet nice people that do this, talk about true crime and, just really eager to learn new stuff and try to, get as much information out there and as possible about these cases. So people do things a little differently. I just don't I don't trust anybody else's work. It's because I have the experience of media lying. I've had the experience of law enforcement lying. I've had the experience of politicians lying. I've had the experience of, if you don't see it and go get it for yourself, don't trust it. And that's just the philosophy I have. And, when I'm here, I'm left to Google and certain articles, and if they have stuff in them that's wrong and I speak that's wrong, then I'm a liar here on YouTube, even though I'm reading, everything that we discuss, especially when I'm home, is coming from an article of somebody else's. But somehow or another, I misrepresent all this information, and I'm a compulsive liar because I read these news articles. You can't make it up. I swear. I heard that last night. I'm like, They're like, oh, you're always telling wrong information, this, that, and the other. And it's like, I'm reading this stuff directly from freaking news articles when I'm here. It's somebody else's work. I can't be held responsible for somebody else's work. I can only do so much due diligence. I'm not out there, i.e. why I like being out there. I can't. We're not going to. This is about Layla. So before we get started, naturally, with all the funk, going on, I always try to inspire people first and foremost, because I truly believe that we can't help others unless we're healthy ourselves, right? So I always believe that, I get a lot out of this book. This book is a codependency book. Many of you guys know my past. I had a rotten, I had a troublesome childhood, an upbringing, a dysfunctional family, the whole get and caboodle, like many other families. Like, really, my story is really not, that's probably why we have so many effed up people in America, right? Because my story's not so unique, right? It's actually quite common. I had a dysfunctional family. It led to a lot of problems in adolescence and teenage years that spilled over into adult years because I never addressed the childhood trauma. At some point in my life, I was tired of living like that and wanted to fix me, like truly fix me. And I found out that there's no perfect fix along my journey, that you just have to get up and try each and every day. You just got to put one foot in front of the other. You've got to hand everything over to God. You've got to stop what you're doing. You've got to change people, places, and things. There's a lot of things that went on in my life, but I think the hardest work I did wasn't the addiction issues that I had with substances. It wasn't that at all. It was fixing me. That was the hardest thing. That was the worst thing. That was the most grueling thing. Not only having to look at what happened to me, but look at how I made excuses for almost destroying my life. And it all stemmed, and I say this on this channel a lot, it stems from childhood trauma that's not addressed. I had to address all of that horrible stuff. It wasn't easy. You have to take a good look at yourself in your life. This was one of the books that helped me keep going, because that not only was there the dependency to the substances that had to be broken, there was the dependency of others that had to be broken. It's not changing your life. It's not an easy thing. You've had the same people in your life for years. You're ending friendships. You're ending your traditions. Like, every night I'd go out to friends' houses. I was a very social person. It was all about being, you know what I'm saying? So you literally had to, everything that you knew and loved about your life had to literally come to an end. And you had to find a new way to live. It is nobody that has never been through it does not understand it. They'll never understand it. They don't understand how hard that is. But I almost died. I almost died several times. I almost lost my life. I'm a miracle to be here. I realize that, and I will always give back. And if I'm hung out to dry for doing that, then I'm hung out to dry, but I will stand on my convictions, and I will die on those as well. But this is the one book that helps me each and every day, because some of these things you have to live with. They never go away. And one of those things is being codependent. It's very easy to slip into. It's very hard to recognize. And when you do recognize them, you got to switch. This book helps guide. It does help guide. September 19th, what do you expect? The key to life and power is simple. It's knowing who we are. It's knowing what we think, what we feel, what we believe, what we know, and even what we sense. It's understanding where we've been, where we are, where we want to go. That's often different from who we think we should be, from who we want us to be, tell us to be, and sometimes even tell us we are. It's easy to get hooked into other people's expectations of us. Sometimes it's even easier to get hooked into what we think they expect of us. One of the biggest traps is locking ourselves into a preconceived notion of ourselves. We can keep ourselves so busy living up to an image of ourselves that we forgot who we really are. It's tough even to break free from the expectations, spoken and unspoken, that others put on us. It's more insidious when we start telling ourselves to be what we think others are expecting us to be, whether we are or not. Look in the mirror. If you are seeing the person who has been confined with limiting image that does not fit or feel right anymore, set yourself free. God, help me let go of ego. Help me stop living up to self-imposed thoughts of who I think I should be or supposed to be. Activity for the week. This week, do things you want to do that you think others wouldn't normally expect of you. Don't do anything that hurts yourself or maliciously causes pain to others. You might be surprise yourself with how easy and fun it'll be to be you. And now you understand. Don't limit yourself and don't let other people put their preconceived notions on you. You don't have to live your life for other people. What makes you happy? What puts joy in your life? That's what you need to be seeking. The hell with them. The people that enjoy that fun, bubbly person, they'll be attracted to you. The real group of people will come out. You don't need the fake ones. You don't need the fake ones. The fake ones are your friends until you don't do what they want you to do, and then they're gone. Those are fair weather friends. They're here for the fair weather. As soon as the storms brew, you see dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. The people here on this channel, I can guarantee, are here on this channel because they are here on this channel. They love the work we do. They watch the work we do, and they support the work we do. And you know what that's called? That's called quality. That's called quality. It's quality over quantity. And that's what we aspire to be. That's what we expect from others. You know, be a good person. Be a good person all the time. Not because it's the easy thing to do, because it's the right thing to do. Layla Santanello. Many of you know I took this case on. It was sent to me by one of Jen's friends. And I heard this mother begging for help. There was I want to say maybe 200, 300 at this time that saw this video. She was begging for help. Nobody was hearing. And somebody sent me this message. Not only just sent me this, basically begged for me to bring attention to this case. I had not heard from it, had heard about it or anything. It really wasn't getting attention. And had this person not brought this case to me, I would have never seen it, period. I would have never seen it. I wouldn't even have known Layla's name, Layla's story. I wouldn't have known anything about Layla Santanello, period. It was not getting any traction on any major. I think there was a small little article about it. It had limited photos. If I recall, I think it had 1 or 2 photos of her, not appealing photos. Which, in some cases, that if that's what they look like at the time, maybe that was the reason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I felt bad. I started reading this information and I started looking into it, and there was just something that was calling my name to get involved in this. And I knew that if I started getting involved in it, I knew that it would definitely get attention. I was apprehensive, I will be honest with you, to get involved with this because of everything that's going on, which is sad that I'm apprehensive to help a family because of other people here that have horrible behavior. A bad behavior, maybe that's what I need to talk about. Bad behavior, because apparently I have horrible behavior or bad behavior that everybody likes to expose, but they don't like to expose their own bad behavior. But I knew that it was going to get attention. I guess a piece of me never thought they would go as low as to attack a family, a mother of a missing person. I think that was my fault, because I honestly believed that, and I don't know why I even give these people even the remote amount of benefit of the doubt. They've never even earned it. But I just naturally thought that certainly, as much as they pounce on me, for being out in front of people's homes that have done terrible things to people, but they don't like that because it's injuring other people that might be victims, right? So naturally, just the way I naturally think, I'm putting pieces together and like, okay, well, they'll attack me, but they definitely won't attack a family member. So I had already sent the flyers out. I've already had, tried to get many people involved. I think I discussed this case for a good solid week, maybe 2 weeks. I can't recall. But nothing was helping. We even sent out flyers. We paid for flyers to be sent out there too, Jen, because usually I print them out and then I mail them. I was only able to get 50 flyers out here before my magenta ink ran out, because I use flyers. I print flyers for people all the time and just mail it to them. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just get the flyers out and get them mailed. But I couldn't, and I couldn't print that many and get them to her when she needed them. She was going to be going out the very next day. It was a Sunday. She was going to be going out the very next day to start walking and talking and posting. And so I needed to get those flyers out so she had flyers to post. So we called a local, I shouldn't say overnighted, because we called a local printing company right there in Kingsport and paid the money to have them print. We could only afford 150, I can't remember, was it 250 flyers? I think it was 250 flyers. It cost a little more than I thought it would cost. I'll just leave it at that. I was hoping I could get her 500. We could only afford 250, but it was 250 that she was able to pick up and get out there and start posting. So we were really happy with that. And then it still wasn't getting picked up. Even I was very appreciative, because you guys know Gray Hughes and we do not get along. He doesn't like me, probably over the many lies that other creators don't like me. It's been peddled around about me. Acting as if my prior lifestyle 30 years ago or 20 years ago is my lifestyle today. I apparently that's all they've got. So they're going to use what they have, right? They've got nothing recent or nothing new. So they have to go back to old to try to humiliate me and make me look, well, I don't really care. Like my mom was on here. She's like, this person was saying this. I'm like, Mom, turn it off. Who cares? They knew exactly. Who cares? Like, who cares? Like at the end, who cares? And really at the end of the day, who flipping cares? If that's all they got and they want to run with that, just, if that's what makes you feel good, go get some girl. If hurting another female is what gets your rocks off every single day, then hurt. If that's what you want to stand on and that's who you want to be known for is hurting people, then hurt away. I don't understand why. Apparently there's a lot of haters out there that prescribe to this stuff. I hope they ain't in church. And if they are in church, I hope you're praying for yourself each and every week if you're listening to that nonsense. This is from a person that said I was going to be laughed out of the courtroom, that my case was nothing, that it was going to be thrown out. Everything she's ever said has been a lie. And she's getting angrier and angrier. And you can hear it in her voice that she's upset that everything is starting to come back on her because it's all been lies generated by her. And now all of this stuff has been generated by this person. And all these people doing all this stupid stuff because of those lies. And they're getting themselves in trouble because they're doing things like, let's take out Betty's channel. Let's cause financial drain to Betty. And guys, there's so much more out there. I really wish people would just get along and help these families. But certainly I did not expect them to attack this mother. And they did. Because I was the only one that came out. That it's not like she chose to work with me. It's not like it was her friend that brought her case to me. I was the only one that went out there to help. That is really the nuts and bolts of it. She was so appreciative. How is this lady going to now be nasty to the one person that came out and actually tried to help her when she asked for help? And that's what they were trying to do. And so that didn't work. And so they didn't want to cover her or help her at all, because she didn't bow down to attack Betty. And so they flipped it and started trying to help raise money with the father and help the father, which God bless him. You know, he's a father. He's in a different state. I understand his concern as well. But they intentionally put a wedge between Jen and George. And I don't understand how that's beneficial to Layla. It may be beneficial to them, but I don't see how that was beneficial to Layla or Layla's case. I still don't. And they're still doing it. So again, I didn't think they were going to attack. Now they sent a woman out to spy on our search. And she said nice things about me. Apparently, I didn't know. If you guys, I would say go back and watch yesterday, but I pulled it because I was cussing so much. And I was so hot under the collar. I may end up putting it back up. I'm going to let my mods review it. And if they think it's good, that they approve, I'm going to put it back up. I shouldn't even put that on them. Not that they approve, but, they worry about some of the stuff because they have to, they're in the chats. They're the ones that manage the chats. So I trust their direction. But I didn't think that they would do that. But then there came the wedge. But, we're still trying to move forward. We're still trying to be positive. We're still trying not to engage in the noise. We're still trying to keep this about Layla. We're still trying to move this case in the right direction. We're still trying to find information. We're trying to keep our heads down and keep out of the drama and just keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like just moving forward. We're not finding her. Nobody's finding her. Law enforcement's not finding her. Private investigators are not finding her. So there's I don't understand how people think we're going to find her without actually being out there. But then we thought, what if, take it going back to that lady at the hotel, at the mirror court that we heard, talking about the, if you owe a debt, and you're young and blonde hair and blue eyes, they STU, So there is the possibility that she might be somewhere else out there in the world, right? So we're thinking, okay, well, maybe a message to her. Maybe if we can get a message to her. Maybe if she can hear her mother. Maybe if she can see her mother's doing everything that she can. The family, the community, everybody is doing everything that they can to find her. We just need her to reach out. Maybe that would get something. Maybe she might be able to see or hear Jen's words. So without further ado, I know many of you guys are here to hear the message Jen has for her daughter. Again, this is something that is not quite finished yet. I haven't finished the final touches on it. This is not going to be the final product. The final product will be a video by itself so it can be shared to around social media and other places to get that message to Layla. And that's what we hope. That's what the hope is with this plea to Layla to reach out to her mother. So again, without further ado, it's very brief, not too long, but hopefully it'll be impactful.
Hi, you're still here. My name is Jennifer. This is my daughter, Layla. She went missing on June 27th. The last place she was seen was right behind me at this marble slab. The last person to see her and speak about it was an employee here. We miss her very much every day. Living day to day with a giant hole in our lives without her has been the hardest part of it. Maybe if you're out there, somehow, miraculously, this reaches you, contact us. Send a letter, a postcard, you know the address. Just put Pop's secret password on the paper. Don't tell anybody. Anything else isn't fathomable.
Give me just a second, guys. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard. And it's even more heartbreaking that the element that these other people are throwing into this. Like, this is a real mom. That's a real missing child. That's real pain. Those are real tears. And this mom needs help. And that little girl she was holding in her arms, that's Layla's daughter. That's Nova Grace. There's a $2,000 reward for any information leading to the whereabouts of Layla Santanello. And we're trying to raise those funds. We're trying to have more money because somebody knows something. Somebody knows something out there that can break this case wide open, and we need to find that person. And we need help. We're running a dollar will do campaign. I know that some can, support more, but a lot of us can't, right? A lot of us just can't. The economy is crap. Jobs are crap. Pay is crap. Cost of living is high. I get that. But you know what? We all have a buck. We all have 100 cents to our name. So if we're doing a dollar will do campaign, if you can contribute just $1, because a dollar will do, to the GoFundMe for Jen Santanello. This is to help raise, and there's a Cash App that Sonia just dropped down if you want to help. I can tell you that taking care of this, this is Jen's environment, just for those that don't understand. So Jen has her own children, okay? And as well as she has Layla, and I believe 2 other brothers, 2 biological brothers. So it's her and 2 brothers. Then Jen is also responsible, a guardian of another, basically, fostering another person. I don't know if fostering's the proper word for it or what, but she's a guardian for another young lady, another underage, teenage girl. I don't want to call her a girl. She's older than a girl, but a young lady. So she's responsible for that child. And now she's also responsible for Layla's 2-year-old daughter. And I've got to say, I think that 2-year-old daughter really puts the joy in Jen's life. I think that Nova Grace is really what is allowing Jen Santanello to put one foot in front of the other. Yeah, I know it's kind of crappy. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of crappy, but money talks, right? And a lot of these people are need money. They've got a lot of substance abuse problems, alcohol problems, everything else. Several $1,000s. It keeps them good for a little bit. It might put them in a decent hotel for a night or 2. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're kind of thinking. But we need it. We need this reward money up, because we know that this community, especially Kingsport, it's not the richest community out there. There's a lot of people struggling, and a lot of people may have some information. Let that information give you some money. Don't keep that information. Jennifer Santanello is working right now to get a tip line set up. You can reach out to her PI. You don't even have to call law enforcement. They have somebody there that can field phone calls where you're not even, you can be anonymous. The object of this is to find Layla. And if you help locate her, you're getting hard, cold cash. This is not a fictitious reward. This is money that's already been earmarked, that's already been received, that is going to be in your hands and in your pocket with any information leading to the whereabouts of Layla Santanello. And again, that is going up. That reward fee is I know it's going up because I believe the power of the people. And not only that, but we're not running it just on here. We're going to be running it on TikTok as well. So I have that reward will go up. So bring, please, any information. And I know whatever money is rewarded, whether it's stated verbally or not, whatever money is in that reward fund, whoever brings Layla home is getting whatever's in there. So if I'm saying 2,000 and there's 3,500 in there, they're getting 3,500. Just because we're saying 2,000 does not mean whatever is in that reward fund, they will receive, bringing Layla home. Let's get Layla home. That is the number one object of this whole entire situation. We need to bring her home. We need to find her. She's been gone entirely too long. I believe that we can. I will be finishing up that video today, and we will get that out. And I ask that you guys please share it on all of your missing person places. That we just need this getting out on everybody's Twitter, TikTok, anything, any way that Layla could possibly hear or see this message. We need to get it out. And that's going to be the message from her mother to her. And we're going to try our hardest to find her and bring her home. And we need everybody's help for that. And I hope you guys are on board, because that's what's needed. This is what help is. Okay? This is how we can all help. And hopefully the haters can get on board with this as well. I don't know, but hopefully maybe they can prove me wrong. We'll see. I guess we'll see. But for us and our group, we're moving forward. We're going to help this family. I plan on doing another trip out there to search, whatever we can do as a community here to help this family. And then just when you think it can't get worse in Tennessee, you just think it can't flippin'. How much worse can it get in Tennessee right now? We got Miss Baby Summer Wells. Case not solved, right? Case not solved for Summer Wells. But don't worry, Ronnie Lawson's pedo son, I'm sure he's home living the life. I'm sure he's home living the life by now. But no consequence, right? So we have Summer Wells out there. Her parents still, mind you, all the children taken away, probably citing the fact that they're disgusting, horrible parents, and still those disgusting, horrible parents that have abused, neglected, and, did not treat their children well are still out living their life while their children are being taken care of by somebody else. No charges for the parents, no charges whatsoever. The statute of limitations is running out. They know it, we know it. They screwed this case royally up. I don't even want to get involved in the Summer Wells case. We got Layla Santanello. Thank God Layla Santanello's in Sullivan County instead of Hawkins County, because what a shit show that would be, right? So we've got Layla Santanello. Thank God they've got actual detectives that give a damn about this child. I talked to the lieutenant myself. Listen, I'm telling you, they're doing everything they can. I don't, there's nothing more that I like hearing than law enforcement doing their damn job and not giving any excuses, not, just talking to you, just point blank. I'm no sugarcoat, just straight up, just give me the crap. Don't give me all the bull, the bull, you know what I'm saying. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying over here, guys. Give me some credit. So I'm telling you, I believe that they're doing everything they can. I mean, when I'm talking to him and, he's telling me, look, I can't keep you from any location. And I'm saying, I know you can't give me any information. I know that this area, and I said it like this, I know this area needs to stay away from, I'll stay away from this area. I sent him a map. I was hoping maybe he could just tell me, on the map what area, but that all got screwed up because his email's right here. I left without his email. I ended up and thank God I got there like literally 4:45 when everybody was leaving, or otherwise I wouldn't even have been able to get the lieutenant's email to send him our map, which our map, we hadn't even sat down with Jen yet to circle the stuff on it yet. So I knew where he wanted us to stay away from, so I kept it to the places that I I knew that were public, and public could go on. So if the public can go on that, then like we could have gone where we wanted to go anyways. I mean, like the lieutenant said, he can't stop us from going. I know that, and like I told him is that we don't want to step on toes, and we don't want to be in areas. If you guys need to search it, then just let me know. I don't want to be in there in areas that have not been searched with dogs and other things. If there's already areas that may have been searched, or they're not really interested in, or they just don't feel that that's an area, I still want to find information. I'm there for two things. I'm not just there searching for the person. I'm also searching for people that may know this person, that may have information for this person. So every person we're coming in contact with, or we're seeing on the walk path, or we're seeing stepping out of their cars or their vehicles, we're taking a flyer up to them and saying, hey, have you seen this person? Do you know any information about this person? There's a $2,000 reward leading to any information about this person's whereabouts. So we're talking to everybody, and so that's it's kind of like a two-pronged thing. I'm not just there, so I don't mind going behind law enforcement. And as a matter of fact, I found we went behind law enforcement before, and granted, it wasn't significant evidence. It's not the most significant evidence in the world. I get it, but it was the water bottle of Gabby Petito in a cleared freaking area. I mean, that just it really kind of pisses me off, because that shows shoddy freaking police work. I'm sorry. That was in their cordoned off area of search, methodical searches, and there's a water bottle this big that you missed. What else did you miss? I mean, that's I'm saying? That was my philosophy. We weren't expecting to find that at all, and it just happened to be there and happened to catch Olivia's eye. How it caught Olivia's eye, I have no freaking idea, because walking right by it, it kind of blended in with, and it had all the grass, like wrapped around it, because it had been there for a while and stuff. So it almost blended in with the environment. It was just that yellow top and some of the writing around the top of it that kind of just popped ever so slightly from the rest of the foliage that was around there. And I think that's the only thing that caught Olivia's eye I think it was that pop of yellow in a very green area that didn't have any yellow at. I think that's really what drew her attention to that that cup. That's what I thought. Again, a lot of things happen, believe it or not. There's no explanation for some of the stuff that happened. Like when we walked through the woods, we crawled, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was Paola Miranda-like environment. Paola Miranda-like environment, almost that swampy, but it wasn't swampy. It was more foresty, but it was similar to that. You have a lot of downed trees and stuff all around. So we're walking through that, and there was like a 73, God bless this lady's soul. Oh, she was just the sweetest doll in the whole world. She was 73 years old. She was from Germany. She spoke great English. She was with her daughter. Her daughter was just cute as a button as well. Just so nice. And they kept up with us. They really did. Up until we started having to go into that dense area that I was just talking about, they turned back. But those beautiful ladies literally waited in their car until we returned. I have no idea how long those beautiful ladies waited out there. I keep thinking it was like another hour and a half, maybe another 2 hours. I can't even recall. I don't know. When we go out here, we're not looking at our watches. We just do until there's nothing left to do. We hit this place and hit that place, and it's like, even like I wanted to go to be honest with you, I was exhausted, but I wanted to go another 4 hours. But the place I want to go, I can't go right now out of respect for law enforcement. And mom is 81, Betty. Oh my gosh, she's 81. Oh, good Lord. But they kept up, and they were looking. And when we did find some stuff out there, I mean, we found like a homeless camp, we found other stuff. And we're just looking to see if that's old, new, you know. And again, if there was a homeless person there, I'd be asking them, you know, do you need a bottle of water? Do you know this young lady? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of information that can be begotten, right? From just people. But what was so concerning is on that path, nobody seemed to recognize, or everybody I talked to on that path didn't seem to know or recognize Layla at all. But the crazy thing was when we went through this forest into this neighborhood, we kind of came out. It was really weird because I'm not even going to say, never mind. It's a double-edged sword. But anyways, long story short, we come to this community. And so when we, get out of this woods, we're in this community. It's like, okay. So, we're like, okay, which way do we go? Which way do we go now, right? And so I see this red car, this red SUV pull up, and people are getting out of the vehicle. And I'm like, oh, where's the flyer? Let me go up there. So I walk up there and I ask them, and they're like, oh, no, now we're starting to get into people that this is a person from a person's home in this community that says, oh, yeah, I know her. So now we're following this trail, right? And now we're into this community. Now we're starting to find people that not only know her, but recognize her, that know her personally. You see where I'm going with this? But it wasn't even that. That person recognized her, but doesn't have any information, didn't know anything about her, went to school with her or something to that effect. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and listen. But there was, she knew her. She's seen her. She hasn't seen her in a while. She wasn't hanging out with her or anything like that, but I think her cousin hung out with her or something. I can't remember. Either way, now we're going from a place of no, never recognize her, don't know her, haven't seen her. Now we're starting to get into a community. It's like, I know who she is. I know her. I know this person that knows her. I'm sorry, I have no information, this, that, and the other. Nice to have met you. Oh, you too. But now I know your name. God bless you, ladies, for being out there. That was really nice. And I'm really happy you guys got to have some cake with me. Oh, that was another thing. Her mom was like, I'm not leaving here without cake. That's why they waited. I forgot that was the excuse they said. They waited for us. It was so sweet. But they're like, oh, we weren't leaving without cake. And I'm like, I felt so bad because I cut all the cakes nice. I cut all the cake slices nice, except Mom's. Right when Mom came up to put her plate under, I'm trying to hold it, and it literally just collapses in my hand. And Mom gets this mound of cake, like the cake. And a glob of the frosting. She didn't quite, hers wasn't a cake piece anymore. It was kind of a pile. I felt so bad. Out of all the pieces, I sliced the one that she's got the plate right there. You got it. You see it's leaning, because it was, several layer cake. And so I slice it, and, you got you don't want to touch, people's stuff, but Mom got my hand done, and I'm sorry, Mom. I love you. My hands were clean. Let's hope they were anyways. Right when she got the plate under, it kind of did like a fold, like, how it's like this and it's tall. It kind of went whoop, like a sandwich right on her plate. But it was still good, right? That was some of the best, that was one of the best cakes I think I've had in a really long time. I think the frosting wasn't over sweet. It had a great balance of flavor. It had a great balance of the fruit. And the frosting, the one thing I don't, like, I love frosting, but I can't stand the so sweet. It's just too sweet. I even spice, like spicy food. I don't mind heat. I don't mind having my mouth hot as long as it's a flavorful hot, not just a burn, right? So that's the same way. I'm the same way with sugar. I don't mind a frosting or a sweet. I just don't want it to be sugar. Like you It was just good. It was good. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a little weird because I only got to spend maybe, I want to say 10 minutes on my birthday, for my birthday, and having cake and eating it before we had to go to the next. But that 10-minute birthday party, I gotta say, it was very special for me. I don't know how to, I'm almost getting teary-eyed over it. I am getting teary-eyed over it. But I don't know how to explain it. We're all hot, we're all bothered, but somehow or another, the frosting on the cake held up, after almost a 4-hour walk? I think we were out there for 4 hours, and the frosting held up pretty good. I mean, it was melted a little bit, but it held up amazing. It held up amazing. But then when you cut into the cake, listen to this. The cake was still cool. Like it wasn't like like it sat in the sun for 4-hour cake. It was good. It was amazing. And then I was surprised to even have the cake, let alone to have, some gifts as well, which was really, really sweet. But it's the shirt. This shirt I love. And let me go get it. Hold on. You guys are just going to have to be patient with me. You guys are going to have to be patient. All right, I'm back. So you guys know, make sure I got the right ones in. Which one's my left? There we go. Okay. So you guys know that I'm a religious person. Okay, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm half holy, half hood. Okay, let's just be real up in here. And so I'm one of those Christians. I'm one of those Christians that know I need God. I pray a lot because I do a lot that I need to pray for, right? I curse a lot, so I pray. I do things that I'm not always proud of, and the curse words are, I'm not proud of it, but it's something that's part of me. Like it's ingrained in me. I'm trying. That's all I can do. But I give everything over to God. I love God. God, he surrounds me with his armor. That's what keeps me going. It's what allows me to be comfortable in my own skin and say, I'm living my life and I'm going to do it my way. And nobody's going to dictate to me. That's what gives me to be able to do that, right? Because people like to control people, but nobody can control me, and they get all butthurt over it. But at the end of the day, no matter what, it all comes back to God. And it's funny because, you never realize why things happen the way they do. And then it's kind of funny that, God had a hand in something the whole time, and you were just too... you just didn't see it yet. You didn't see it yet. And many of you know I'm addicted to coffee. I'm super, super addicted to coffee. I drink coffee. It's a teen, caffeine, right? So I drink the stuff all day. It's a problem. It's probably going to age me. It makes my teeth a little yellow. So what? It's something that I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop doing it. And I just love it. And I formulated this coffee club because we got together ridiculously early in the morning. Granted, but Bullhorn Betty's getting a little older, okay? She's not a spring chicken anymore. She's not getting up at the crack of dawn. I still am getting up at the crack of dawn, don't let me fool you. But we started this coffee club. And then, 2 years later, I see this saying, and I'm like, God had a hand in that as well. And I just didn't know it yet. And there it is. Right there. Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere. And how it's just one of those things, that we started the coffee club 2 years ago. It was literally because we were up ridiculously early. But at the end of the day, God had a hand in that name too, because again, I know. This should be the next bestseller. This should be the next bestseller, right? On Sonia's site. The only thing it's missing is coffee club. I'm just joking, Sonia. I'm just joking. I love the shirt. I love the shirt, but for everybody else. So Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere. I love this shirt. You guys should go out and get your shirt too. This right here really does, I think, define the show. It really does. It really does. This is my new favorite shirt. I have to be honest. It's my new favorite shirt. And I hope you guys go out there. If you need to get that shirt, please reach out to I would buy it. Buy it. Sonia's here. Sonia's here. Drop your link, girl. Drop your link. But I love that shirt. And I remember when I saw that, I just thought, this really does kind of, I love it because, we talk about Christ on here. I'm not one of those Christian people that shove it down your throat, but everything here, I believe he has a hand in. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a believer. All right. I'm a believer. And, I don't think I'll ever stop believing. I know I'll never stop believing. I was a believer when I was out there. I remember there was many nights that I prayed to God, like, just take this addiction from me. I mean, seriously, it was bad. It was bad. 6 months did me in. I only needed 6 months. And that, well, I shouldn't say it was 6 months. It was progressive. Different stuff, to get to that point. But deep, I think it was deep when it was becoming really noticeable about 6 months. And within that 6 months, I almost lost my life. I mean, it went from fun to almost death in a matter of 6 months. It was very scary. I got to say, I wasn't scared at the time. My family was. I was unaware of what I was doing to myself. I will be honest with you. I had no idea I was as sick as I was. Literally, people don't understand. I did not know truly how sick I was. I did not realize how life-threatening the stuff I was doing was. Even pulling IVs out of my arm after having to be resuscitated back to life, I wanted to go back out and hang out with my friends. It is an illness that unless you've been through it, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's what makes me so angry when I hear these rehab centers for addiction and not one person, not one of their therapists have ever had addiction in their life. And I say that is a garbage facility. I'm sorry, but if you are an addict, you want a facility ran by an addict that's got off the crap. You want every person touching you that has been down the road you're going through. You don't want somebody that learned how to recover from addiction through a book. Have you ever, if you've never been, a book doesn't cover it. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. It doesn't. You cannot be, if you are a book therapist in drug rehab, burn your certificate. You do not have the proper prerequisites to tell or teach somebody how to get off drugs. I'm sorry. You just don't. Theory does not work in real life. It just doesn't. You know how I got clean? Another addict that got clean. That's how I got clean. I didn't get clean because a therapist that had a PhD in addiction showed me the way. It was another addict that had been down the same road that I had been down, probably worse, that came out on the other side. That's who I want teaching me how to get through this. Somebody that has years of experience. Years of experience versus no experience. Got it. So people, if you're trying to get your family or friends help, those, in all fairness, I'm not all BS set aside. Those are the things, if you're taking them to a facility, you want to know who's helping him recover. And the next question you need to be asking, did they recover themselves? If they have not, they are not the right one. I'm sorry. Been there, done that. They are not the right one. You need a sponsor, you need 90 meetings in 90 days, and you need the willingness to survive. You got those three things, you can be a success. So getting on, we've now discussed Layla Santanello. Great work. I'm going to be back out there in a few more weeks. I'm hitting the pavement again. Somebody knows something. Hopefully in a couple weeks, it'll give law enforcement some time. Yep, you got to change your playground, playmates. Yep, playthings. Absolutely. It's reinventing yourself. It's reinventing your whole life. It's not an easy process. You got to have the willingness to do it. That's why when you can't force somebody into recovery. You force them into recovery, they're going to fail. They have to want to do it. They have to want to do it. All you can do is just come from a place of love. You can hand them pamphlets. You can offer to take them to meetings. You can do whatever you can do to help them. But, at the end of the day, they've got to want the help. Forcing them is just going to make them worse. I can tell you that. I've watched it happen many times. I always say therapists need their own. Yeah. Yeah. They, in my opinion, to me, I find it, coping, different coping mechanisms. I think therapists and stuff like that are amazing at finding ways to divert things. So maybe they don't know how to fix your problem. There's the link to the shirt right there, guys. If you guys want that shirt, I love that shirt. I love that shirt. And I don't know what my face looked like when I pulled that shirt out of that bag, but I have to think that it was pretty joyful because I couldn't believe that was the shirt she brought. I sent that. I kept waiting. It was one of those things. I get so busy and I kept waiting for her to pop one of those little advertisements up for it. And I was going to grab it. And I didn't see it. And I just got sidetracked. And to be honest with you, I forgot all about it. And then I pulled it out of the bag and I'm like, oh, the shirt, because I forgot all about it. So it was really truly a real surprise. It was great. But I love that shirt. And everybody should be wearing that shirt because that really is the coffee club. It really is. Come here. Come one, come all. We just ask that the petty BS stuff stay out of the channel. That's it. You want to come here and participate. And you don't even have to pair. Like Mike, our beloved defense personnel. This is the problems we have with live, okay? Things don't always fall out of the mouth the way you expect them to fall out. This is a live show, if you guys haven't noticed, okay? But Mike is our resident defense attorney here, okay? He is the defense counsel here on the Bullhorn. I can't even say my name anymore. The Bullhorn Betty channel, right? Every time we go north, Mike goes south. Every time we go west, Mike goes east, okay? It doesn't matter. No matter what we say. But Mike is here literally. What? What happened? What? I tried for years to get my best friend sober, no avail. I finally had to walk away. Yep, it's healthy boundaries. Sometimes you just have to love them afar, that's the way it is for my cousin. My cousin and I were very, very tight. He was much older than me. He was from my aunt, my deceased aunt. There was a lot of dysfunction in that, my aunt's family. She died when I was really, really young. I think I may have met her. I can't remember if I did meet her. I don't know. But I always heard that she was the life of the party. She was a beautiful soul. Just not a very good mom. She was a boozer and a partier and, whatever. But, over the years when I learned who my cousin was, we became pretty tight. He was, at that time, he was, living, he had a wife and 2 sons and living in his home and doing well for himself. And we'd go over there for weekly barbecues. But, life got the better of him as well. And a lot of childhood trauma, from my aunt and, him never knowing who his father was and, him being in and out of foster care and stuff, life got the better of him. And when him and his wife split up and she took the kids, it really went south for him. And he started drinking and his bubbly personality stopped being so bubbly. His teeth started rotting and falling out of his mouth. And it was very hard. And, I would always be supportive of recovery, and I wouldn't have anything to do with him when he was like that. And, when he'd get sober, I'd be around him and, support him. And when he was back out there, I just had to stop. And I can always tell when he relapses, and it's a hard struggle. And every single one of my cousins are dead. Like, I shouldn't say dead, just about. My cousin Tammy died way too young. My cousin Doris is dead, which is both of his sisters. My other cousin Dale, he's, not doing well. And then my cousin Tony is drinking himself slapped to death. And he's probably going to be dead soon too. And so, there's a lot of addiction and substances out there. And as hard as it is to watch, I love my cousin. I want my cousin to have his life back. And, you wonder, is he too far gone? Does he have another recovery left in him? But I can't, he knows he can never stay here again. I can never help him like that. It's a healthy boundary. I will definitely support him in his recovery, and I hope he finds recovery, true recovery. Not just because his thing is every time he got jammed up or he got his license taken from him for not paying this or not paying that, he would go get sober to get his driver's license back. But then once he got his driver's license back, it was the same old BS. And again, I love my cousin, but I had to walk. I blocked him. I can't deal with it anymore. I don't have him blocked. I have him blocked on my phone. When you start calling me drunk and telling me you're dying because you got a brain tumor, and I tell you to produce me the paperwork so I can see what kind, so I can start looking for doctors, and you can't produce me anything, I'm done. I'm done. You've just went well over. You don't have brain cancer. You weren't at the hospital. You're drunk and wanting sympathy. I'm done. So we all have to have our healthy boundaries. It's hard. I love my cousin. I will always love my cousin. I'm not willing to watch him die. I don't know what to say. I'm not willing to watch him die. Sometimes you just got to love the people that you know and love afar. And it's just really sad. I have a bonus son that had a distance from. He wouldn't admit addiction. Yep. I know different. I chose to love him from afar. Yep. And that's all you can do. And just pray one day that, they find true recovery. And I think one of those things is, just always having a pamphlet or something around to hand him every time he comes over, and lovingly remind him that there's a better life out there. Because sometimes these people have lived in this life so long that this is what they're accustomed to, and the unknown, just like our unknowns, that new job or something, their unknowns of a new life, it seems out of touch and out of reach for them. Oh, good morning, Turkey Man. Nice to see you. So it's definitely hard. If you start, I know that there's, for people that have addicted families, don't know what to do. There's Al-Anon, there's meetings for you guys too. There's Al-Anon meetings. It helps you cope with what you're dealing with. It gives you the tools necessary. It gives you the people that are going through the same types of situations. If you're in they've got little groups all over until I was in an A, I had no idea, literally no idea that there's literally these types of groups all over the country. Did you know that no matter where I went, no matter what state, what county, what city I went in, there would be a meeting there waiting for me? When I was early in recovery and traveling, it was scary for me. It really was. Those meetings with those strangers that I never knew were very important for me, especially early on. A lot of people talk about complacent. I'm complacent. I don't go to meetings anymore. I haven't gone to meetings in years. I just abstain and live my life and keep myself busy. She's probably made 6 Facebook pages since 2016. She's friends. Friend requests me. I block them all. Yeah. it sucks, but you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing for you. You still love her. You know, it's, if she really needed your help, you'd be there, I'm sure. You know, if something happened to her, you just gotta have, Al-Anon is great. I've been, yeah, it's really good. So there's just a lot of stuff out there that we don't even know exists that really does help. I gotta tell you, for me, the whole group meeting and stuff at first, it's a little weird. I don't think it's weird at all anymore. But I have to be honest with you, going in, not knowing what to expect. And I had to do this 90 days. I had to be around a whole bunch of strangers and tell them about a bunch of personal crap about myself. But I'm telling you, that was the best group of strangers I ever told a whole bunch of personal crap to in my life. I got to be honest with you. And you know what? Yeah, I love the part. And everybody is so adamant about the anonymity. Like, that is, it really is the beacon of that group. And what I do love about that is everybody respects that. That is the one thing that I think everybody respects, and they have to, because of the because of what they do. You guys got to understand, there's doctors, lawyers, politicians, there's people that are in recovery that you guys have no earthly idea about. That anonymity, it doesn't mean they're bad people or they did anything wrong, but they're trying to save their life. That anonymity is crucial. I'm literally, in some cases, life and death to some of these people. And I love the fact that people in the rooms, that is a sacred thing, the anonymity. So if you do choose to go, always remember, even if you see somebody in one of those rooms that you know, you do not say who you saw. I just want to make sure that, you know, we want to, just like they don't go out and say they saw you, you don't go out and say they saw them. You saw them. The anonymity of those rooms is sacred. And those people in there, just like I was fighting for my life. And if you need to be fighting for yours, I hope you guys do 90 meetings in 90 days. So with that being said, let's kind of move on just a little bit. I know that we've been, actually, you know what, there's a lot of people in here that seem, you know, addiction does hit everybody. I think addiction hits all families, all income, all ethnicities, you know, everybody. Addiction, it's colorblind, it's financially blind. It doesn't care who you are, what you are, how much money you make. It doesn't care. No matter who you are, it's like the bigger you are, the harder you fall type of addiction. You know, it's a cunning, baffling disease, and it is a disease. It will kill you. A lot of people have been affected by this at some point in their life. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines and it seems like the chat has a lot of commentary in it. So if you guys have a story that you would like to share, you know, share it. You never know. It might just, in fact, save somebody's life. But 90 meetings in 90 days is definitely, if you're struggling with any type of addiction. And it doesn't matter what room you're in. It really doesn't. If you have a substance abuse problem and you're at an AA meeting, just change it. It doesn't really matter whether you're talking about what it is. Just change it to alcohol. It doesn't matter. You're still struggling with a substance. And that's the way it is. When you're in CA, you talk about, CA, but you can go to any meeting. That's what I learned, because I was bouncing back between CA and NA and AA. It didn't really matter. I found a meeting anywhere I went. And it was they're all designed the same. It just depends on what your substance is, right? And it helps you find people that have kicked that habit with that specific substance. So some people may choose AA because of alcohol. You may end up in even AA people. If you're in a different community, you may have to, like if you're traveling and you have to go to a meeting, there may not be any AA meetings there. There may only be an NA meeting around the corner. That's the meeting you have to go to. and so forth may only be a CA meeting. So don't knock those other meetings out of the way because you don't think that, because you need to go to a meeting. Those are the same type of meetings. They just have they're it's all kind of the same. It's all designed the same. The 12 steps are the same from program to program. So 90 meetings in 90 days. I don't care which one you go to. But if you're an alcoholic in a CA meeting, then just change it to Coke or to narcotics or to whatever. If it's sexual type in nature, then change it. They're all designed the same. I hate to say it, they are all designed the same. But the objective is getting you to 90 meetings in 90 days, and no matter which meeting you go to it. 90 meetings, 90 days. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. All right, let me change this over here. Okay, we got that tab up, and here is the telephone number if you guys would like to call in if you've been affected by, drugs, drug addiction. Somebody that's struggling. You need help. I mean, my recommendation, if anybody's struggling with substances or alcohol, either reach out to. Why isn't it ringing? Hold on a second. Are you there? This is Betty. I don't hear you.
Good morning, Miss Betty.
I don't hear it ringing. Guys, give me just a second. Hold on, caller, you're going to have to call back. I think it's Turkey Man. Turkey Man, if you hear me, you're going to have to call back. Give me just a second. I'm having some audio issues. Did you guys hear any of that? I just heard it hang up in my ear. Did you guys hear? This is Betty. There you are.
Good morning, Betty. How you doing, Miss Betty?
How are you?
Do you have me this time?
I can barely hear you for some reason.
Oh, let's see it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you good. Well, what you're talking about affects a lot of families, mine included. It's something I'm still dealing with in our family, and it's you talk about the NA and AA, or Celebrate Recovery is another outlet. But we as believers, we're in a program too. It says pick up thy cross daily and follow me. So it's a day-to-day program, no matter what you're in. If you want to see it through, you have to do it daily. And I think of how this has affected my family and how it's still affecting my family. And it's hard to explain. It's just not the one that's the one that's the addict. It's the families that's surrounded by it. And I know that how it just destroys family. And I'm going to give a little brief story, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, you take your time, and I'm just going to let you talk.
All right. Back. There's 4 years difference between me and my brother. And back in the 1979, our family is big family. It's dad, 8 brothers, 3 half sisters, one brother that passed away at a young age, but a large family and a close family. And in 1979, my brother got behind the wheel of my mom and dad's car, intoxicated. And my cousin and his cousin and our best friend was killed and burned up in the car. Well, my brother was given an opportunity that the whole family, as hurt as it were, went before the judge, and he's going to have to go to prison, DUI, and pleaded for him to have another opportunity, make it better, and and got probation. And even my dad's brother, the daddy of my cousin that got killed, he was one of the first out, begging for an opportunity for him. 6 months later, he did it again without killing anybody, and he ended up going to prison. And because of the sacrifice that my uncle and his side of the family made, I mean, it's like it destroyed, and it's still a destruction. And to this day, it still is. And that's just how deep that you see the victim's family. See, not only did I live the victim's family, I live the one that caused it. But so it is not only that cousin of yours. It's the ones that affected around about it. But I just wanted to let everybody out there know that who we serve. If you serve a living Savior, if you serve Him, and you put your trust in Him, there's a better day coming. But I know that a lot of people don't understand what I'm speaking of. But you know what? You better have a plan. That's my plan. What I'm doing, my plan.
Amen to that.
And you better have a plan.
Amen. Amen.
Well, anyhow, that's my two. That was my saying about it, or I guess my story, so to speak. But I just wanted to share that. You know what? If you're a child of God's, it's a day-to-day program too.
Yep.
Because just by grace, goes me. But
yep.
By grace. And so, always, understanding that we all have our own cross, our own stories, our own testimony, or so on and so forth. But it's one step. Pat Summit is a great basketball coach here in Tennessee, and she has a saying, said, right foot, left foot, breathe. Just keep making a step forward.
Yeah.
Just keep moving forward. And so anyhow, God bless you guys, and I'll get off and let somebody else get on. I've got to get ready here and take my mother to the doctor and get to make sure her meds is so good. But anyhow,
well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I do appreciate it.
I'm so proud to be a member of the coffee club.
Oh, thank you, Turkey Man. God bless you. Bye-bye. Oh, that is always so sweet. It's always so sweet to hear from Turkey Man. And the reason why a lot of people say something about me turning the emoji on, it's just because we have sometimes some internet lag. And I find when people are calling in that it helps with it from being good, so I've just learned some days I don't need to do it, but some days I do. So I've just gotten into the habit of turning this off when people are on the phone. And I even find myself, I have a habit of doing that when I think somebody's on the phone, like when my mom calls me on my regular phone. And I think and I'm listening through I'm not even realizing that she's calling through my regular phone. And I turn my screen off. It's a habit. I'm sorry. It's a habit. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have this experience. And, we still love our family, and we still do the best we can, even in the situation that we're presented with. We at first we try to deal, right? We all try to kind of work with the addiction, right? It's like I don't know why we do this. I guess it's just a natural, like this natural thing, but we as family, as the family, we try to almost justify it and work with it, right? If we can just manage it, right? So that's kind of literally the first thing that all families are trying to do right now, is just manage it until we can find a solution. That's really it. Let's just, I don't know what to do. Let's just keep the peace, right? Let's just keep the peace is really kind of like your first natural solution to something like this is to try to work with the addiction, to work with the person, to do, and it's hard. It's hard. This is Betty.
Happy birthday to you.
I got the
Good
best
morning,
people on here.
Nipping Coffee Clubbers.
Hi, Ruby. How you doing, hon?
I'm doing all right. Just kind of feeling a little under the weather and all from having injections and stuff done, but I'll be up and around in a couple of days anyway. So,
It's not Ronald Bullhorn. It's Ruby. Ruby, podcaster.
Do what?
No, it was somebody's like Mom Bullhorn. I said, I don't think it's Mom Bullhorn. No, it says it's Ruby. Ruby podcaster.
No. This is Ruby, the Pearl Glamper. I was talking about what had happened with my best friend and I in chat, and so I kind of just wanted to share just a little bit of a backstory on that, and also how I ended up in Al-Anon. Heather and I were best friends for 20 years, all throughout the 90s and stuff. We worked together, we clubbed together, and partied together and everything. And, we had our tiffs over the years, but nothing ever resorted to, violence. And, we'd go for periods for a little while where we, didn't speak to each other or whatever, but we always found our way back to each other. And then when I got pregnant with my youngest daughter, that was my sobriety wake-up call. And when she got pregnant close to the couple of years later with my goddaughter, that should have been her wake-up call, but it wasn't. If anything, she got worse. 7 DWIs. Wow. She spent 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison for 7 DWIs. Got out, got married to some worthless loser, ended up on any kind of drugs she could get in her mouth, down her throat, up her nose, in her veins. She took it. And I had her at my house because she always says, I want to get sober. I hate all this drama. I want to live a simple, quiet life, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what my life had turned into, a simple, quiet life, sober, raising my youngest daughter and everything. And I had her at the house and had her sober. And she's like, Amy, I can't deal with this. Your house is like rehab. She said, I've read 2 books since I've been here because I've had a whole lot of true crime books and biographies and, different stuff. She said, I've read 2 books since I've been here. And I'm like, well, isn't that why you're here? To get sober? So anyway, she can't deal with it. She thrives and lives in chaos and drama because that's all she's ever known. So to live a quiet, peaceful, sober life, it scares her to death. And so she leaves and goes back home to her family is so toxic. They hate each other. They love each other. They cuss each other. She cusses her kids like dogs. Her mother, it's just the worst kind of dysfunctional chaos you've ever seen, because her parents were alcoholics and drug addicts, and let them kids just do whatever and survive. Heather had to raise her youngest brother, Jeremy, on her own, pretty much, because her mother was off with her boyfriend, drugging and thugging and drinking and stuff. But anyway, 2016, we're leaving her house. Her mother calls. They had this huge argument. She ends up totaling my car out on Interstate 430. And so we get back to my house, and she ends up cussing my youngest daughter the same way she does her kids. And anyway, she ends up calling somebody to come get her. After she's done totaled my car out, cussed my child and everything, she gets out the door, I lock it, and that's the last time I spoke to her. And she's made probably 5 or 6 Facebook pages trying to friend request me over the years, and I've blocked every one of them because she doesn't want to get sober. She lives and thrives in the drama and the chaos, and I can't stand it. That's why I don't get in the middle of it here on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so anyway, keep in mind that I always planned revenge on my stepmother when my dad, when the time came that my dad died, I had this revenge all planned on my stepmother, that she was supposed to be there for me. Well, after all this happens in 2016 with her, my step family find me on Facebook, and I get a friend request from my stepbrother and a message from my step aunt. And I called my youngest daughter at school. I said, something's wrong. I'm like, I just got a Facebook request from my stepbrother and a message from my step aunt. Anyway, my dad had a stroke, was in a nursing home, and they didn't know how much longer he was going to live. So they wanted to reunite us. They knew how, Phil knew how his mother and the whole family knew what that woman had put me through my whole life and why I was not around anymore. And anyway, so I went reunited with my dad in late 2016. Mind you, I don't have a car because she has totaled my car out. So I had to get my friend Bill to take me. And then Harley, which is now my son-in-law, brought Shaughnessy from school, and we met up at halfway at the nursing home. Fast forward, my dad passes away. I choose not to do the revenge. I take the higher road and I leave. Something else better happens. The mechanic that I found to work on my engine on my RV, to do my work that needs to be done on my engine and stuff, his secretary turned out to be married to one of my stepmother's cousins. So they knew my history. They knew the history I'd been through throughout my childhood with my stepmother. And because of the relationship that I developed with this mechanic working on my RV and having to stay there at his shop for a few days at a time while he worked on my engine and stuff, making repairs, Gwen and I developed a friendship, and she's the one that started taking me to Al-Anon meetings. And Al-Anon will help you, even if you haven't lived with an alcoholic or dealt with an alcoholic or anything like that. Al-Anon can help you through any kind of trauma that you've been through. That's the good thing about Al-Anon, and I always really I haven't been in quite a long time, but it really helped me, get through all that, and then coming back to the lake and living in my RV and everything. And then, I would get out there in the middle of the lake on my raft, and I would scream and yell and cry where no one could hear me, and I would, go to these Al-Anon meetings with her on Thursday evenings. And it just really helped me get through all that versus what I had originally planned. So either way, I walked away from all of it, that happened between 2016 and 2018, really helped me.
Yeah, I personally like Al-Anon. I know my aunt's gone to Al-Anon. I know that there's been family members that have gone to Al-Anon. Mine was a little different. I was the addict. So, my stories, the struggle, I don't know what my family's struggles were because I wasn't them, they don't know what my struggles were. They weren't me. But I can tell you that my entire family was affected by me. I can tell you that. There was a lot of people that were affected by the stuff that I did personally. One of the good things is I was never one that stole. I had my own money. I had a lot of money, quite frankly, that was gone in a matter of 6 months. As a matter of fact, it was over $100,000. Over $100,000 I blew in 6 months. I was almost dead.
Yeah. Well, see, I had been through a terrible ordeal both in 2016 and 2017 as well. I mean, I almost died. And when I got out of the hospital in 2017, after having congestive heart failure and pneumonia, it was a month later that I had to pack up an entire house of 50 years and sell everything I had and then put everything left in storage, and move into a way smaller than a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage brick home into a Class C RV. And, to which, she was not there for me, but, by the grace of God, I ended up finding Gwen, someone who did not know me personally, but knew the trauma I'd been through my whole life without ever even meeting me, and, led me to Al-Anon. The one thing that Heather always told me, what she always said, Amy, you are never a true addict. You put it down, everything down as easily as you ever picked it up. Yeah. And that was the difference, I guess, between.
Yes. And that is the difference. And people don't understand that. I've met people that have, that are not addicts. They've used, they drink in excess. They've used substances in excess, but they didn't have whatever gene that makes it addictive. They were able to realize it was causing them problems, put it down, walk away, and never look back, never have any behavioral changes one way or the other. I've known people like that. I've also known people that literally drink 2 sips of an alcoholic beverage, and literally their entire demeanor immediately changes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, that the smell of alcohol just nauseates me. I can't even stand the smell of it.
Yeah.
And I like to sleep too much to ever pick up drugs again. So.
Yeah, no, I don't use substances at all. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like being hungover. I'm such a go person. Just having something that slows me down when I'm already exhausted, because all I do is go. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the, I don't mind having a drink or something with dinner or a cocktail. Very seldom do I ever drink in excess. I mean, you're literally talking about, you may catch me on a good night once every 5 years. I mean, it's literally that often that you actually see me tore up from the floor up. It'd be like once every 5 years, and it's either some major travesty that happened in my life or something major happy that happened in my life, and I just, went a little too far. But this day and age, when I go out, what I love drinking more than anything in the world is a nice tall glass of some Southern sweet tea with lemon.
Oh, now I love me some sweet tea.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Dollar General has a jug of sweet tea called Milos, Milos, and that is the best sweet tea. And they make lemonade too, that is really good. So if y'all are ever at Dollar General and you like tea and you like lemonade, get that Milos brand tea and lemonade. It is amazing.
There you go.
So
you
good.
guys got a good recommendation.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to, kind of share a little bit about my story, with Heather and my dad and Al-Anon and everything. And, like I said, we've all gone through something, and, it amazes me sometimes when you talk, I'm like, is she reading my mind? Is she watching my videos? We think so much alike.
Yes.
You'll say something and be like, oh my gosh, she just did exactly what was on my mind. So, we think a lot alike, and there's just so many people out here going through stuff. It's just nice to let people know, me too. I've been there. I've been through that. I know what you're saying. I know how you feel.
You're not alone, I think, is the biggest message. You're never alone. There's always somebody that has an experience similar to yours. And those are the people, in my opinion, that people should be surrounding themselves with.
Yeah. Last Sunday, the pastor's sermon really, really spoke to me. And this Sunday's sermon, I wish 99.9% of YouTube would watch, because pastor spoke about some of these haters and trolls.
Oh, really? See, I was out there I was out there in the field. We were searching Sunday. Yeah. I didn't have an opportunity to go to church.
Well, go back and watch it, because he was sure talking about these horrible people out here in the world that are doing the very kind of thing that these hateful trolls on YouTube are doing.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, it was an awesome sermon.
Yeah. Well, we had the search was amazing. It's weird because it's so hard, because Bash was such a nice, genuine person when we met her.
I can't believe they did that, though. They were trying.
Yeah, they were. But I'm glad. This is my thing.
So bad after all.
I'm glad that before we got on the trail, like if her intentions pulling into that parking lot were for nefarious purposes, by the time she took her feet off that parking lot, they were not. And thank God for that. Thank God for that. That she chose to, at least help. Even if she was going to videotape, even if she was going to bash us over the head with whatever she has, then God bless her for that. But at the end of the day, she did come out and help, and she did help, and she worked. I mean, she walked so much.
That's good.
But everybody's always so kind. And I always try to express that when we go out to these places, everybody's like, oh, they're going to kick your butt. And it's like, we go out to these places and we meet and I tell you guys that all the time, some of the nicest people in the world.
I would give anything in the world if I could be right there with you. But circumstances, sometimes just don't allow me to, or it's just too far or whatever, and to think that they put together plots and plans to go to these places and to try and sabotage you. Give me that money so I can go, so I can help.
Right.
So I'm glad she ended up helping you.
And not only that, but she was just
at the end of the day,
she was just a nice person. And I was, I think that's why I didn't really think it was Bash, or I didn't know who this Bash was. We heard about it. One of my mods told me about it. I don't, she'll know when
I
she
don't
said
even know
it.
who it is.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was. And I'm like, they said Bash is going to be there. I'm like, who's Bash? And they're like, oh, Bash the tragedy pimp. So I'm like, look, I'm not worried about it. And I think that's exactly what I said. Like, we get this all the time to every single one. If they come, we'll deal with it when they get there. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm not going to change course. They can threaten me, intimidate me. They can show up with a big old posse and they could be screaming at me while I'm searching, but it's still not going to stop the search. And that's just how we roll. We have a mission. The mission, it does not end because we have shenanigans going on. We complete the mission. And
I don't understand what is wrong with these people.
I think they truly believe that we're awful people. I think that truly is what it is. I think these people have them so brainwashed and have them manipulated by all this stuff that happened 20 and 30 years ago with me. But I talk about it on this channel honestly and openly with everybody. And I have, even before this, even when I was in politics, because I wanted to make sure, I was into a lot of kids stuff, where I was meeting with my sheriff because I didn't want kids being thrown into juvenile detention, for bad behavior at school. And it's because the bad behavior at school is a product of their home life. And I don't want them being shamed as students.
Yeah, and you remember what I told you, too. That my boyfriend worked at the juvenile facility here in Arkansas. And he said most of the kids out there are repeat offenders because they got it better there at the juvie facility than they do at home.
Exactly. But I don't want them being a product of our system because of that. I want to get these kids well before they get to the point where they're going into juvenile detention and their lives are starting to be altered, where they're not going to be able to get good employment as a young adult. That's what it is, because I just feel like if we can get them past this rough area, this rough patch of their life, and get them to adulthood with, without criminal charges, then we can have a chance for them to be productive members of our society. So, there's a lot. I don't understand why people are so angry, but I have to believe that it's truly because they think we're awful people. They've been told we're awful people. They're not told any of the good that I personally have done since all that bad, being involved in my community, trying to do these programs, working on things like, homelessness for veterans and stuff like that. Like, people don't, they're in this box, they're in this box of information that's only one-sided.
Make the world miserable with them.
What was that?
Sure enough. I said they're miserable and they want to make the rest of the world miserable with them. I can't see how anybody could go against or try to sabotage someone helping another family in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I mean, there's a certain president that I don't like, but let's say he came down and gave you the funds to fix your roof, I would think he was the greatest guy ever.
Right.
There's people I don't like, but if they're out here helping somebody else, then that's good.
Yeah. And and quite frankly, I hope a few more people that don't like me come out and truly decide that they just want to try and help and just see what it's all about. I'm glad there's like it's a double edged. Like I'm glad she didn't tell me she was Bash or admit it. I was expecting somebody that would show up at something like this to be a little younger. I have to be, no offense, but I think that's what took me off, is I didn't believe, because they were all older ladies, and I just thought that they were just really nice. I don't know how to explain.
The trolls here on YouTube are anywhere from 30-something to 80-something years old. I kid you not. I've got a couple of other friends here on YouTube that are creators that are so enthralled in the drama and been bashed and had horrible things said about them like you have. And this stuff on YouTube has just gotten so nasty and gone so far, and I just don't get it.
Because
It's some kind of
built on
crazy,
hate,
weird
and hate
midlife
has no
crisis
bounds.
people are going through.
And that's the problem. It's all built on hate, and hate has no bounds. And it's once you incite it and you ignite it, it's out of your control. Hey, Hellcat, nice to see you, love bug. It's literally out of your control. That's why it's responsible for creators to start tampering some of this nonsense down. When you got freaking people showing up to stalk somebody, I mean, I'm glad I don't even know how I feel about all this right now, because to be honest with you, I like
some of it's so nasty.
Yeah, but I'm
mean,
speaking specifically to the whole situation related to Bash. Like she was so nice, and I enjoyed her company so much that it's almost I'm almost speechless that it was her, you know. And but again, I'm glad that her intentions changed before she started searching. That does matter to me. It didn't change after she started searching. It changed before. It changed before she even seen me make my first move, make my first walk. Her heart changed, and she chose to be there for the right reasons. That I applaud her for, and I thank her for. And at the end of the day, I don't care if somebody doesn't like me. It's not about me. I've been screaming that from the rooftops for 2 flipping years. Nobody wants to listen. Hopefully they listen now. Nope. When I ask for help, I'm asking for help. I'm genuinely asking for everybody's help. It's not just for Bullhorn Betty channel members or subscribers. When we have all hands on deck, it means just that. All hands on deck. We have a missing girl. We don't know what happened to her. Something terrible seems to have happened to her. We're doing everything we can to locate her. Like, we could use your help. I don't care where I get the help from. You think I give a damn if Bash is out there looking and searching for something? I do not care. Do you think I care if Morbid comes out there and helps and search? If he's there genuinely to help and search, the more the merrier. Come one, come all. Just come there. All I ask is come there with a good heart. Leave the petty BS behind. That's it. It's really freaking simple. And many of you guys have heard that from my voice many, many times. Leave the BS and the petty crap behind. That's all that's ever requested. If you cannot do that, I don't want you there. Simple.
If they devoted half as much energy putting love and light out in the world and helping people as they do hate and sabotage, and you know, hell, we might find somebody, you know. Amen. We might truly, you know, get some closure for one of these families. But I don't know, I saw a shift a long time ago, and I did a major unfollow from a whole lot of people. And I am so glad I did, because I don't want no part in none of this mess. I've been down this road before, and I ain't going down it again. I don't understand why people want to be true crime commentators or advocates or whatever, but yet they make this a contest.
Right.
I'm better than you. I do more work than you do. I do this and you don't. And listen to me. I know the facts about the Wells case and you don't. And so you need to come to my channel, watch me, because I know more than you do. I don't get it.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes I get like that too, because these people are idiots out here and saying all kinds of crap like, oh, they're victims. Don Wells and Candace Bly are not freaking victims. You guys are a bunch of fools
they
that
are
think
not.
that, because they've abused every child they've ever had. That is not a good person. They've lost every child that they've had. And one child is missing and presumed dead, by the way, that was in their custody, control, and care, that's gone. And still these parents have had no repercussions of their conduct with their children in 40 freaking years. And now we have a child missing. Their other children removed. They're not getting them back. And they're still walking free after all the atrocities they've done to 9 children. And they're trying to convince me that this is a good man and deserves my hard-earned money and attention. No, he doesn't. His daughter does.
And people are entertaining their nonsense for money,
Absolutely.
to make money.
I could be covering the
YouTube,
case
whether
too.
it's through Cash App or through having their channel monetized. They're entertaining their nonsense and making a fortune off of it.
Yes, absolutely.
And
And
I
that's
don't
what it
approve
comes
of
down
that
to.
either.
And you go look
I
at
don't
those
approve of
channels.
exploiting people, whether they're good or bad, like Don and Candace. I don't approve of exploiting people like that.
And let me just tell you guys the difference of this whole exploitation of cases. First of all, I've never exploited a family or a victim. Never exploited them. I've never trampled a parent or a victim up on my channel for profit. I cover cases and I put those cases on my channel for profit. And I'm going to tell you that. I make a profit off this channel, but I don't, because every penny that I make over and above my life bills goes back into every one of these cases, so much so that I'm barely breaking even each month with these cases. So let me just
you have the receipts to show that you've been to each and every one of these places, and y'all call and try and request how much a room costs to rent, even at the cheapest slum bag motel.
I would like them to just check what it costs for us to fly out to Idaho, from Florida.
Oh, I know how much plane tickets are. Yeah. So
it's
they ain't cheap.
Right. But even this SF guy, he told the family that he was going to take this case pro bono. That's what he said to them. Okay.
Don't even get me started on that guy.
Right. And so now he wants them to raise his money. Like I raise all my money here on this channel. I don't go out and reach out to family members and say, hey, I'm going to come out there and help search for your daughter, but I need you to pay for my plane ticket. I have never, ever in the history of my life ever went to a victim's family and ever said that. Now, granted, he's going to say I'm a licensed PI and I work for profit. Okay, but that's not what you told this family. You told this family that you would help them. You told this family that this was pro bono. This is not pro bono when you're trampling them all over these channels to raise money for their GoFundMe account to pay you. And they're like, well, you do the same thing. No, I don't. I have never taken a family and asked them to raise money to pay me. I've came here on my channel with my audience, talked about a case that I thought would interest them. And I asked my audience, would they like to send me out there? And when they say yes, and they raise the money to send me out there, again, not a victim's family, the kind, gracious hearts of my audience, that's when we go out there.
And how we choose to spend our money is our business.
Exactly. But we raise that here on this channel, independent of any family member or victim. And this Yahoo is taking that family and trampling him around, pimping them out to raise money for their GoFundMe to turn around and pay him. He is not doing any private fundraising to get his ass out there. He's using the family to acquire. That is exploitation. That is exploitation.
Exactly.
And we have never done that here on this channel. But we know that the people on the other side of the fence that are always pointing over here are definitely doing that.
Pro bono is what the man who worked Crystal and Colin Schulte's case.
Yes.
That's pro bono.
That is pro bono.
That case that worked on that came in during the Collie Rodney case, that guy's
Jensen,
a nut
what was
case.
his name? Jensen.
Jason Jensen.
Jason Jensen. Yes.
Yeah.
Jason
That's
Jensen.
pro bono.
Yes. He did that case pro bono. He went everywhere on his dime. He didn't ask Sean Paul Schulte for a dime. Not to go where he needed to go, not to do what he needed to do. And he was located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and managed to make it over to Moab, Utah many times. But he was not somebody that reached out to the family from a different state and demanded that the family, that he will do it pro bono. But hey, you got to pay me my traveling expenses.
No, hell no. Speaking of Crystal and Colin, I've been meaning to ask you this for quite some time. I know that they had a funeral for Crystal here in Arkansas in Hot Springs, which I don't live too far from. And I have wanted to take Crystal some flowers, but I cannot find a cemetery where she's at for her. Do
You're
you
in
happen to
Arkansas
know?
too. You know what? I will get you in touch with her cousin. Her cousin is, you know what? You guys have such the same personality. You guys will probably love each other to pieces. She's the sweetest
Okay.
doll in the world. And I got to say, she was one of the first people that came to bat for me and as well as our team when we were under a lot of fire over Gabby Petito, because she was another family member that we were able to help provide her some information that she didn't have, you know, during the investigation when she was states away. And we were able to get her the answers she was looking for.
Well, I had been wanting to ask for quite some time. I've been digging around and I found where they had the funeral and her obituary and everything, but there's not a cemetery.
They may have had her
listed for
cremated, you know, you're
burial.
talking about families that really didn't have a whole lot of, you know, money, and funerals this
Yeah.
day and age are very expensive. So they may have had a funeral for her, but she might be in an urn versus in the ground is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to find out, because if she is at a cemetery in Hot Springs, I wanted to take some flowers to her, and that's why I've been trying to find out.
And I'm certain that Diane would definitely appreciate the sentiments. You know, she's just a very sweet, kind, gentle soul, and yeah.
Because that case hit me really hard too, because you know I'm a full-time RVer, you know, similar to the van lifers like Gabby and Crystal and Kylan and everything. So you know those cases hit me hard, and plus you know anybody that's from Arkansas is always, you know, near and dear to my heart. The victims, you know, here in Arkansas are always at the top, near and dear to me, so that, you know, I kind of latched on to Crystal, you know, especially, and everything. And so, but yeah, I'd been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to ask you that for some time, and keep forgetting.
Yeah, I think both of them, you know, I like I said, I just think funerals are entirely too expensive. These are families like many of us. They just don't come from a lot of money, and you know, it's when you have two unexpected
we had a
deaths.
celebration of life for my ex-husband and my ex-mother-in-law and father-in-law. We had it in their backyard. We had the party tent set up. We had food. We had music. We had, you know, pictures of my ex-husband, you know, all around. We set it up in the backyard, and everybody came, and you know, and we did a balloon release, and you know, had it right there in the backyard, and it was just as good as any formal, if not better than any formal, you know, funeral you could have. I've been to funerals at the park, you know, at the city park before for people. It's about remembering that person. It doesn't matter where you gather together at.
Exactly.
So, but I'll get off here because I know you got to get your day started. I guess I'm gonna eventually get my day started. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done, but
Yeah, I've got some things, but I want to do some research on here, so I'm probably going to be here, you know, for at least, I don't know, probably another hour. We're going to go over some Brian Koberger stuff here in just a bit. I'm going to play the video of Layla, or excuse me, Jen. I'm going to play the video of Jen again.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get off here then and quit gabbing and get back into the chat and finish the show.
All right. Well, thank you, Ruby.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Always gives that That second. Oh, by the way, Tammy, thank you so much. I did see that. I just happened to look over and saw that. So thank you. God bless you. God bless you. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about, we've all been affected by it. We've all, this is not something any of us have control. We have friends, we have family members, some of us have brothers and sisters. Well, hello, Mama Bullhorn.
Hello. I won't be long. I just wanted you, I was up till after, along with about 1,000 other people, 3 a.m. our time and 6 a.m. her time. Or no, it was 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. Michelle, after dark, broke the new legal documents on the Delphi case, and they broke up a ring of Odites. I don't want to go there. It takes too long to explain. But they were in the law enforcement as well, and unbeknownst to the sheriff, they were wearing their insignias on their uniforms. So they have proven that this guy, I forgot his name, that's in prison is not the guy.
Holy crap. They've been torturing this man for months.
And making him, yes. They found that the law enforcement were watching him. I mean, that day on the phone, and they knew it was being recorded. There was a guy, a jailer, standing right next to him while he talked. Because they found out, I'm not going there, but just watched last night live from Michelle After Dark.
I mean, you're on here, so people are interested in what you have to say. So
the legal document the brief is so long she had to break it up. But what they have found is there's a group of it's a very old. It's connected to the Masonic.
The way I'm reading this, it's like a nationalist group.
Yes.
Okay, so we got a nationalist group. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And they call themselves the
whatever
Sons
the
of
name
Odin.
is. Okay.
And they call themselves Odites. But basically, yeah, you're right. And they have tortured this man. They have dirtied his food. That's why he's lost all his weight. They are contaminating his food. And they have, even to the way the girls were displayed.
My question is, hold on just a second, not to interrupt you. Hold that thought. Think about what you're about to say. Did law enforcement know he was not the right person?
Yes, several of them did. They set him up. And the real guy looks exactly like the drawing, the first drawing.
He was heavier set, wasn't he?
Yes, he looks exactly.
So do they know who may be responsible now?
Oh, they've named every
Have
one
they
of them.
released Richard Allen from jail?
No.
Why have they not released Richard Allen from jail?
They put him under special guard. They put him on special guard.
Screw the special guard. If there's a proof that somebody else has done this crime, after everything that I've watched, I thought Richard Allen was responsible because that's what we were being told. Again, not a place that I put my boots on the ground at. And we're finding out that law enforcement knew it wasn't him and allowed him to sit there and be tortured.
I thought it was fake, but she had the actual brief up on the screen. She read it. They named names, they named dates, they named times. They even show how the girls were displayed was a ritualistic form to do with the Odins, the Old Nords. Oh my goodness. I've lost my train of thought. But anyways, I'm still very upset from last night, and I can't think straight because I know they're recording you and they're recording me, and they know who I am, and I'm very upset. So I have to be careful of what I say because it comes back on you.
No, we're not going to be careful. Nothing comes back to me. They're animals, and I don't really give a shit. I mean, at the end of the day, they can talk all the smack they want. You come after my business, you'll be in a lawsuit. Obviously, one creator has decided to attack my business and try to take me out, and we see the product of that. So I'm not.
Well, they've all three of them were on last night. All three of them, Blank, HH, and BT. They were all together.
I know, because they honestly think if they come out and spread misinformation all in one group, people are getting wise to this nonsense. They're getting wise to the lies. They're getting wise to the misrepresentation. They're starting to see who the problem is and who's not the problem. Like, people are starting to wake up. I'm seeing it each and every day. And we're just going to keep moving forward. Hopefully more people wake up. But I'm not going to sit here and try to convince people. I'll let my actions speak for me. And if people don't like the protesting, don't like the protesting. But it's not going to stop. I am a professional protester. If I see an injustice, I'm going to be out there with my bullhorn. It's something that people are going to have to get used to. They're going to have to accept. They're going to have to understand they're not going to be able to control it. It's lawful. Law enforcement can't even control it because it's lawful. It's lawful and it's protected rights. It's a constitutional protected right. There's nothing anybody can do about it. So this idea that you can go out and tell people that what I'm doing is illegal is bullshit. It's horseshit. Nothing about protesting is illegal.
Okay, you're getting wound up. Let's get back on the Delphi case. The judge hasn't ruled. The brief has been filed, and it's quite lengthy. It names dates, names witnesses. It names everything. It's like a tell-all book. And I could not believe it. But she couldn't go through all of it because she got so tired. She said she'd break up the second half of it today on a live. But
well, here's the issue. Here's the issue I have. And I always have to take this stance because, a defense, in all fairness, is required to defend the accused. Okay, so they're going to have.
I know.
Let me finish. So, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to the audience. So, they have to defend themselves, and they're going to find whatever they can. Just no different than Murdaugh and the request for new trial. They added some stuff that looked very, very damaging, but when you start peeling back the layer of the onion, you realize that it's BS. It's absolutely made up. They were able to find some certain things that bolstered their claim, but when you look at the situation as a whole, you realize it's a bunch of BS. And the reason why I asked you, is he still in jail, is because clearly in the state attorney's mind, they haven't closed that worry box that he's not involved somehow or did not do this. That's what it's telling me. Because if they proffered enough evidence, they would be pulling that man out of jail immediately because they don't want any more liability for keeping him in jail. Like, if this man did not do this, this town has a huge lawsuit, period. This man's body, massive lawsuit, massive. So I'm very apprehensive, but I'm willing to listen. That's where I'm at in this situation. I'm apprehensive, but I'm willing to listen. If this did happen, shame on this community, the people that are running this community, because I know that they've been talking about that man's condition and how he's been treated behind bars since he got there. And this has been well known by law enforcement. This has been well known by that judge and by that state attorney, and they didn't give a damn. about this man's condition. They didn't give a damn. They treated him like he was the accused. I'm sorry, but I told you guys when I saw the way he looked, how disgusted I was with what we're hearing coming from that jail. And if this is now true, this is another level of I don't even know. Oh, Mom's off the phone. That's right. I don't even know.
Well,
oh, you're still on the phone. Okay, hold on. Sorry. I forgot you.
Apparently, people have been deposed. There have been recordings. There have been recordings given to the defense, but they can't be authenticated. They have jailhouse recordings, but for the defense, okay, it's a big move. Like you hear of the Plan B defense. I don't think this is a Plan B defense where they're trying to smear somebody else to make their person look innocent. They have named so many names, so many situations, so much facts. It's mind-boggling. You need to pull up that document. Michelle gave the link last night. It is such a long document. It's like a book.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that he was, I mean, if he's innocent, I'm absolutely appalled of the conduct this man has gone through.
Tortured him.
This is why you don't do this kind of crap before they're found out to be guilty or innocent. This is why right here. And they've tortured this man. I'm sorry. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it torture on this. You sue me. Sue me. This man was tortured.
They have contaminated his food. They have drugged his food. It's awful. That's why
he didn't look well. I can tell you, when I saw him at that hearing, as angry as I was at that man, I felt bad. He did not look well.
No. And I'm not saying he wasn't involved, but this just is it's like Area 51. Either you believe it or you don't.
Yeah.
But
still, I mean, it's one thing, like, I'll go out there and I when I know something, I know something. You can't change my mind unless you present me something I don't have. And so when I look at somebody and say they're guilty, that's one thing, but I'm not handcuffing them. They're not in my care. I'm not required to take care of them. I'm not required to feed them. I'm not required to make sure that they're healthy, but this jail is. And this has been a problem that we've seen from this jail, and we've seen a lot of people talking about this man's condition. Even whenever I'm starting to feel bad for somebody I perceive as a monster, there's something wrong there. And I perceive this Richard Allen as a monster based on the information that's been provided to us by law enforcement. And I'm looking at this man feeling sorry for him because he looks like he's in very poor condition, like something that you would see in a third world country.
Well, I'm sure he wishes he could die because he's in a situation he can't get out of. But in this document, the bullet they found next to the girls, that's the big clincher. Apparently, they traced it back to a gun that Richard Allen owned. No, that's not true. That was inconclusive. That was, and the fact he had blood on his denim shirt, that was all bull. I mean, you think about it. You've got a group of law enforcement that belong to this organization, and they're all guilty. There's like 4 men. 4 men are involved.
I think there's more than that because there had that one officer guy from Alaska or something that they were using his stuff.
Yeah.
Grace and Grit says it's not fact This was released from his defense. So none of this stuff has been and Grace and Grits. That's kind of, so nothing. This has now been alleged, but it is part of his defense. It's definitely not been corroborated and definitely not considered fact at this point. It very well may be. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying no matter how we look at this man was treated very poorly
Yes.
while he was in prison.
But you've got a lady who is a PhD in criminology.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, the way she said it last night, you've got a group of attorneys, their entire practice. Are they going to throw it to the wind? Are they going to just throw their practice to the wind on this?
It's kind of hard because they're required, even as defense is required to defend him properly. And if there's even a inkling of this, they can allege it. They can allege it and explore it. So yeah, if they've got this, they can definitely. I wouldn't say they're jeopardizing their license at all as far as the attorneys are. But I can definitely say that this is definitely something that they should look into. They have some meat to the bone from what I'm hearing in chat. Now, I have, just as a disclaimer here for everybody that's here, I have not seen this document. I have not reviewed this document. I'm going literally on what my mother's saying and what people in the chat are saying. I will try to find it today and review it. But if it's as damaging as what they're saying in chat, then I have to think that there's some legitimacy to their claim. And they're saying, is there any Pebbles is asking, is there any DNA match? But the weird thing is, Mom, from the beginning of this case, when the father and the son were arrested, the Kleins, the Keegan Kleins, the father and the son that were arrested, and then we were hearing these other things. Remember, we all even talked about this being a network of these type of people. I think, and I'm starting to believe that to be true, that there is a network, an underground network of these people. We know that it has to exist. I mean, there's got to be a way that these people are communicating and passing around, kind of like how the hate channels are taking these pedos philosophy and doing all this stuff behind these back channels and stuff like that, anonymously and stuff. You know, those hate channels might be a way of exploring this a little bit. Maybe they need to explain how this all works. How can people be, undercover and have these back channels? But I do believe, and I think many other people believe, that this was a network of people. This wasn't just one or two. I think that they work together and do this all over the country. I really do. It's just a piece in me that I just have in my gut. Well,
in this document, it states that the law enforcement that were involved in the Odin network, the Odites, had a special symbol that they wore on their uniforms. And after this document was filed, none of them were wearing it again.
Yeah, I would like to see photos of that and see that on their police. Like there's just this.
They have photos of them
but this
in the jail with them on.
It's almost. I mean, in the reality, I mean, this is kind of crazy. Let's be honest. This is a twist and turn that I think nobody was kind of expecting. So when that always happens, I always question, because you're talking about an emblem. I've been called a white racist for holding up an OK symbol. So I do believe that there are other explanations, and I'd like to explore that. Just because they're saying it means that, it could mean something totally different. And this is a defense. We just have to be cautious. I'm not saying that it's not true. I want to be very, very clear on that. I just want to make sure that we have all the factual information, because there's a reason. Their goal was to make sure he was in better conditions. It sounds like he was moved. He's now going to be in better conditions. So there was a goal that was met by this filing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but it was so late at night. I have to apologize. I was dozing in and out, but I could not believe my ears. It was like, first of all, when I turned it on, she had been on for like 30 minutes. So I would zoom back and, fast forward, stop, so I could catch up to what she's saying, because she had the document up on the air and I didn't know what what the document was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, oh, I thought she was just reading a story. I'm going, oh my God.
When you're going for the defense, you really want that jaw-dropping, explosive reality. And and because this is so hyped up, it's just, I just want to make sure that this is not a Alec Murdaugh attempt. That's all.
Yeah. It was like, we knew Alex. It was like in the trial, I knew Alex had killed his wife and son, and I knew his son was involved with the beach girl's death and the injuries to all those kids on the boat. But that the Smith boy, I had no idea they were involved with that. And the fraud, I was dumbfounded about the fraud. It was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea of the depth of his fraud.
The fraud was just crazy.
Yeah. I was disappointed. His friend Corey Fleming on Alex Murdaugh, Judge Newman was lenient. He made all the 195-year sentence concurrent. 20, 20, 20, 25, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10. He made them all concurrent. So basically all he serves is 20 years.
Yeah. And that was for Corey Fleming?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest with you, I truly believe, I feel bad for Corey Fleming, and I feel bad for the Lafitte guy. What is his name? Ron Lafitte? Because and especially Ron Lafitte, I truly believe Ron was bamboozled. I truly believe he was bamboozled. I truly believe he probably did some stuff that he probably wasn't supposed to do, but I don't think it was nefarious. I don't think it was an attempt to really deprive people of profit. I think he was just, helping a friend through a rough time. I think he trusted his friend. He knew the name. He knew it came with he would not get screwed over, So right. I think that there was that trust, and I don't believe that Lafitte should be in jail. I really don't. I think he should have been sanctioned.
The family owned the bank. The family, Lafitte, his family owned the bank. It was their fortune in the bank that was lost.
Either that's no consequence to me. That has not. You see what I'm saying? The bottom line is that I don't believe. I believe there has to be intent there. I've always believed that there has to be intent there in order to be charged and convicted. And this is a sad day for me because, in my opinion, I don't really believe Ron Lafitte's intent was to be fraudulent. I don't believe his intent was to harm anybody. I think his intent was to help, and he got screwed over. And because I am going to say this, because of the overzealousness of the prosecution, I believe that they put a man in jail that should not, Russell Lafitte, thank you. I believe they put a man in jail that should be sanctioned, that should be fined, that should have reprimands, that did wrong. But his intent was not that required a prison sentence. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Russell Lafitte put his trust in Alec to the point he lost his vision. Being that Alex was so connected, so wealthy, had so much, he wagered his farm on Alex and loaned him all those monies and created all that stuff. It's called creative financing. Oh Lord. No, he should have been prosecuted for fraud, but not as severely. I mean, come on, Corey.
Well, Robin disagrees with me. She says he knew exactly what he was doing. Sorry to disagree, but he needs to pay for his crime toward innocent people. Yeah. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
you got
I
a
guess
different
in a
sentence
sense, hold on, let me process this. So in a sense, I guess there was the Forge account set up. Now that was through Palmetto State Bank.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he had to have known. Yeah, I think it might be that Forge account. That must be
Yes.
because if, like, how did he not know that there was not something nefarious with the Forge account? I don't necessarily agree with the 20 years. I definitely don't agree with the 20 years. That Robin says, I don't necessarily agree with the 20 years, but hey, he will be in a cushy federal prison. So,
But the thing is, Corey Lafitte got the same sentence. Now, I'm not Corey Lafitte. Corey Fleming got 20 years. Russell Lafitte got 20 years. And in my estimation, Russell Lafitte should have known there was something rinky going on between the two bank accounts because Alex was signing on both of them. Come on.
yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I think in absence of the in absence of that other account, that one account, but he had to have known that account had the same name as a major financial institution. It just seemed, yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right.
And there were no other signatures on that account.
Yeah, and you know, and the other thing that I'm missing is because I didn't watch Russell Lafitte's trial, so I never really saw a lot of stuff that was being, that was submitted on his behalf. So I guess that was a little premature, but I still don't agree which one. This is where I come down to, everybody's saying that these prisons are understaffed. I disagree. I think they're overpopulated. This is not a crime. I mean, granted, financial crimes are financial crimes, but I don't know about anybody else, but I certainly have a problem that somebody gets more time with financial crimes than they do calculating and murdering somebody. I don't know about the rest of my audience, but I truly, the morality in me, the moral compass in me just thinks that is so wrong that we put profit and money above a human life. I think that's morally reprehensible. I think it's disgusting. The people that should be getting the 195 years should not be on financial crimes. It should be on the crimes against other human beings. I'm sorry. I have huge issues with things like this.
Well, Madoff, is that his name?
Yeah, Bernie Madoff.
Schemer, Bernie Madoff. Basically, what Alex did was what Bernie did. It was a Ponzi scheme to benefit himself.
Right.
So
all Ponzi schemes are to benefit themselves.
But I'm sorry, I'm taking too long. But anyways, I thought I'd let you know the bit about the Delphi.
Well, I'm glad you did. I will look into it. It definitely has perked my curiosity. I will tell you that.
Yeah. Yes, the real Me Too. Corey did admit his crimes, and he was very sorry because even Judge Newman made that part of his final ruling, is the fact that Corey Fleming was such a wonderful attorney for 40 years, and that they, he was very disappointed. He was extremely disappointed that he let his judgment, fall, and put his trust in the wrong person. He had to have known what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, but anyways, I'll let you go.
All right, Mom. I love you.
I know. I love you.
Have a great day.
I love everyone. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have to, I just don't, I don't know the rest, what my audience feels about that, but just me personally, I don't know. I just find it reprehensible that you get more time for financial crimes than doing the most horrific things to a human being. I am waiting for the day that, maybe there are some, I haven't looked into it, but I'm waiting for the day that we have a 210-year prison sentence for a monster. Not some greedy asshole, a monster. Like I would like to see our justice system start putting some of these monsters in jail for 200 plus years. These financial crimes. Look, I absolutely believe that people need to pay time for financial crimes. If you don't make them pay significant times, they'll do it again. I get that. But 20 years is ridiculous. I think financial crimes, 10 years for a white collar person that has never spent a day of life in jail, 5 years would be enough for somebody like that. A hardened criminal that doesn't get it, that has been in and out of prison, yeah, you might want to try that 20-year prison sentence with. They're not getting it. But if prison sentences are to be rehabilitation, if they are to be a lesson learned, if they are to make a point for you to learn from, right? I mean, it is supposed to be learning not to do this stuff again. If this man is going to learn his lesson at 5 years, why are you putting the community on hook with him for 20? That doesn't make any good sense. You're putting a man behind bars that can be paying taxes and building his life back and never committing another crime again. I'm sorry. It is a waste of taxpayers' money to put this man behind bars. I'm sorry. It just is. It's for a lesson learned. Okay? That's what the whole justice system is to deter from you doing this in the future. If we can deter somebody for 5 years, why in the hell are we putting them in jail for 20? That's my point. It's getting ridiculous. The justice system needs to be cleaned up. This is garbage. We've got way too many people in our prisons for bullshit. They need to be out there putting money into the coffers, not taking money out of the coffers. We got to start getting this stuff right. It's not right. Quit privatizing our institutions. I want to be responsible for them. I want to be able to put public records out there, and I want those public records to be responded, and I want to know what's going on in these jails. Quit hiding behind privatized corporations. I want the animals behind bars. I want the animals behind bars. The ones that will never, ever, ever be rehabilitated deserve to be behind bars. They don't deserve to live among us. The ones that can be rehabilitated. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, well, welcome. Where are you calling from?
How you doing? Arizona, Phoenix.
Oh, nice. It's early there.
Yeah, I'm on my way to work, and I listen to you every day, but it's like pre-recorded. I wanted to call in for the last couple times that you did a live while you're at home. You talked about the prison system. I worked in there for 5 years, and one of the reasons why I left is because the justice system is not for justice, and they're not reprogramming the inmate population that's in there. What they're doing is they're recycling them and having them come back in for cheap labor.
Yeah, cheap labor. And not only that, but you have to remember every single one of these prisons are being paid per head.
They get paid. Yes.
Per head.
Once I found out, to be honest with you, I worked there for 5 years, was very serious about what I was doing, loved my job. But once I seen what we're doing, as far as, in my opinion, I'm not going to really say my name because what my opinion is going to throw some attention out there, but it's like human trafficking in a legal matter. They're getting paid so much money for these people to be in there. It just didn't feel right. And a lot of the times when people were coming back, it was for petty stuff they should have never even came back to jail for, or prison for, actually.
Yeah. When they wanted to start throwing homeless people because they're sleeping in areas they shouldn't be sleeping in jail, that's a good way to get my attention. It's a really good way to get my attention. Wanting to throw people in jail because they have no home. Yeah, that's a good way to get my attention.
And the other thing too is like, if the homeless person is on probation, and a lot of the problems with the homeless people is not only drugs, and you know this, you say this all the time, it's mental health. So instead of getting these people the proper help and putting them into a facility that could actually help them and get them some medication or something, they're putting them back in prison. I've even met people that committed a crime to go back into prison because they couldn't get their medications, they couldn't get the medical assistance that they need there on the streets, and they knew that the minute they went inside of a jail or a prison, they're going to get everything they need because they have to.
Now that's a problem. That's a problem. These people don't deserve to be living like that because they need to have their basic needs met. As soon as our prison systems started going over to for-profit corporations, I said it publicly then, I'll say it publicly now, this is the worst thing that we could do.
Yeah, and I actually work for the state of Arizona, not for the private part. I will say that working for the state is a better experience. They do facilitate things a little bit better. When I was working there, they were trying to privatize a lot of things. Arizona was trying to privatize a lot more prisons out here. Unfortunately, the thing that saved it from being completely privatized out here was we had a huge escape. We had 2 gentlemen escape from Kingman, Arizona, and while they escaped, unfortunately, they did commit some murders along the way. So that kind of slowed down the privatizing system out here. But the other thing about private prisons is coming back to the government has their hands in them. It's somebody in the government that is running and funding those prisons, so they're getting paid into that as well.
I can guarantee most of these prisons are political friends of other politicians. I guarantee it. That's called cronyism.
It's family members as well, because when there was a certain governor that was here, that certain governor's family member was running and owning a good amount of private prisons out here.
Yep. That's how it works. I'm telling you, I know these things. I've been in politics. It's all about greasing the hands. Well, I don't trust none of them.
Yes, it's 100%. So I just wanted to give you a call. My username on there is called Love Lakers. I love watching your stuff. A lot of the points that you say is, no, thank you for going out there and doing the stuff that you do. You're on a lot of points, and out of all the YouTube channels, there's only a certain ones that I watch in true crime. A lot of them is just too much childish behaviors. But with you talk about things that are that need to be talked about. No one else will talk about. So I appreciate it.
Yes. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, and have an amazing day at work.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too.
Bye-bye. So now you guys are starting. I'm going to go ahead and turn the phones off. Just go ahead and turn. Well, I'll leave them up. What the heck? But this, and this is what I come back to say, because it was to move money from the government into a few friends' pockets for these politicians. When they started talking about it, these political friends decided to go out and create organizations to start taking over these prisons. These I guarantee these are some politicians' friends running these prisons, putting that money in their pocket right now. And guess what they're going to turn around and do? Whenever their politician that got them that contract that got them to privatize those jails, guess what they're going to do now? Some of that profit, probably a weird number, right? But it always seems to be a percentage of something. Seems to always go into a pact, a political pact, an action group, a political action committee group for that politician in the millions of dollars. It's kind of funny how that happens. If anybody's in politics, you know it's true. You know I'm speaking the truth. Yep. And this whole privatized thing and having head counts and having to have bodies in there to make your profit, that is ludicrous. We don't house prisoners in our prisons across this country to put money in your pocket. We put them in there because they need a life lesson. And when that life lesson is realized, they need to be pulled out and put to work. And being a rightful member of society, paying taxes so we can afford to rehabilitate the next a-hole that wants to do something stupid. But throwing all these people from petty criminals to hardened criminals all in one freaking pod together and expecting to have a rehabilitated person that is on petty crime. No, now you just went from somebody stealing a freaking Snickers bar to somebody, robbing somebody with a freaking gun. You didn't just rehabilitate somebody, you made them worse. Why? Why do you need these people to be worse than they were when they got there? Is it for more profit, so they just come back in again? I want to know what psychologist has directed our government to say that it's okay to put hardened criminals with petty criminals. I don't know what idiot told our government that was a good job. I don't know what idiot told our government that having 400-pound Bubba needs to be in a pod with a 110-pound 5'2" man that sold a Snickers bar. What idiot told our government that this was a good idea to do? I'm just curious. When it comes to stuff like this, yeah, I get a little bit emotional. I'm very passionate about certain things. Many of you know I love law. I love law enforcement. I am a law and order type of person. And I want the communities to be safe and free from trauma, from trauma from other people. And I don't want our government creating worse criminals. I want them rehabilitating the ones that they can get to sooner. But when you get a person that's doing stupid stuff and you throw them in jail for 10 years, you can kiss them ever being rehabilitated goodbye. Period. They will no longer be rehabilitated. They have now just mastered going from petty criminal to major criminal. Way to go, justice system. Way to go, criminal justice system. I could go on this topic literally for a year because I am so appalled with our jails, our jail systems. There are some good out there. Don't get me wrong. It is hard to not paint with a broad brush. There are some good facilities out there with people that truly care. And there are people in these facilities that truly care. And I don't want to take that away from these people. We're not talking about these people. We're talking about top brass, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the assholes that make these rules. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I can tell you that from here. This whole idea that I should be paying $4.50 to have a 15-minute call with an inmate is ridiculous. It doesn't cost the prison that much money to do it. This should not be a profit-driving thing. These are our people. These are human beings. I am disgusted with this privatization. I am disgusted with seeing our prisons overran with ridiculousness because our justice system wants to be so freaking heavy-handed that lets you drive on a suspended license 3 times. You are now an habitual offender, a felon that can go to jail for 5 years. I am not trying to house somebody for 5 years for driving on a stinking suspended license. Do you hear me, America? Don't get me started, guys. Don't get me started. So what's going on in the world of Bryan Kohberger? Oh, let's go back to this, what Mom was talking about earlier. Okay, now I've got to officially turn the phones off because I got to switch gears and move to a different one. I can have both windows open at the same time. So let me go ahead over here. I wanted to read this for you so everybody can be up to date with this information. And it's because Mom brought it up, Mama Bullhorn. Let me get this off here. There we go. And let me see if I can put this up here a little bit bigger for you guys. Give me just a second. Sometimes it's take a little finessing. There we go. So this was, when was this article? This article was just updated yesterday evening, 10:13 p.m. So I would think that this is a fairly recent article that gives us an idea of what's going on. Ritualistic killing involving cultists, a conspiracy among prison guards. Investigators fixated on a single suspect. Those are among the stunning allegations made in court documents filed by the defense attorney on behalf of Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. Oh, and just for the haters out there, I just want to let you know that if I make a mistake or misspeak, I'm not lying. I'm reading from an article that was produced by somebody else. I don't know if they understand that or not, but in case they don't understand that, I just wanted to make sure that we were ultra clear. That this is an article written by somebody else, and if there's any misinformation in here, it's not mine. I'm not intentionally lying to you, misrepresenting anything or anything like that. Again, just reading an article and just letting you guys know what it says. Allen is charged with 2 counts of murder in the February 2017 killing of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi. Investigators announced his arrest in October 2022, more than 5 years after the killings. Attorney Bradley Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin filed a 130-page motion that lays out, in their opinion, the reason the October 2022 search warrant for Allen's property should be thrown out. The attorneys filed an amended motion to suppress the search warrant last week. They've now requested that Frank's hearing, alleging the investigators withheld information from a judge in order to get the warrant approved. But the filing goes well beyond a dry court document and lays out the defense's extraordinary alternative theory that the killings were linked to a cult. The theory involves several members of the purported Odinist cult operating in central Indiana. Odinism itself is an ancient Nordic religion, sometimes known as Asatru. I can't pronounce it. Sorry, you guys can read it for yourself. While often peaceful, some adherents practice animal. Some adherent is it adherent? Why does that? It just doesn't seem right in here. Some adherents practice animal sacrifices and ritualistic killings. And in recent years, some white supremacist groups have co-opted the religion, making it an overt racist ideology. There is also an additional dark demonic component of Odinism. Allen's attorney claims. An unnamed Indiana state trooper deposed by the defense told attorneys that Odinism essentially consists of 2 types, the good and the evil. A report from the Southern Poverty Law Center cited by the defense warned about the rise of Odinist beliefs tied to white supremacists. Allen's attorney believes followers of the religion ritualistically sacrificed Abigail Williams and Libby German. They pointed to the crime scene itself, in which the girls' bodies were posed and tree branches were intentionally placed in a very specific and arranged pattern on the ground of their bodies. Some used blood matched to one of the girls to paint a symbol similar to the word or the letter F on a tree. The F symbol, the defense attorneys contend, is associated with Odinism beliefs. Allen's attorney believes the slayings were the work of more than one person. They don't believe Allen had the time or the ability to carry them out himself. The filing devotes nearly 60 pages to a wide range of conspiracies involving individuals who are purportedly members of a cult-like group. Investigators in Delphi case were aware of the allegations, and a few investigators spent at least some time looking into the possible cult connection. But earlier this year, investigators were mostly dismissive of the idea after consulting with experts who determined, based on the sketch of the crime scene, and the crime was not associated with Odinism or any other cult worshiping. Allen's attorney believes these alleged cult members were involved in the teen's death. At the very least, the attorney wrote in a filing, investigators failed to disclose evidence that could have cleared Allen as a suspect. One of the men had a son who dated Abby Williams. No one denies this fact, attorney wrote in the documents. Defense attorneys also cast doubt on alibis offered by the purported cult members, along with inconsistencies in their individual stories. At least one of the alleged cult members knew details about the crime scene that weren't public knowledge. Another, the filing said, was the subject of a tip to investigators just 2 days after the girls' bodies were found. The individual was allegedly a member of the Vinlanders, another term for Odinist followers, and posted social media photos of half-dead women and strange symbols made on tree branches. Allen's attorney alleged that the individuals had the access and a proximity to the Delphi area to carry out the killings. The attorney also wrote that Richard Allen has no more ties to the group of any white supremacist ideology. Allen's attorney claimed the Odinist connection doesn't stop there. In their motion to have Allen moved to a different facility as he awaits trial, Baldwin and Rossi said prison guards wore patches that appear to show Odinist symbols, including one purportedly in Odin We Trust. During their interactions, the guard no longer wore the patch, attorneys said. The attorneys contended Allen has been monitored by guards with ties to Odinism during his time in the captivity, with guards using tasers against him on multiple occasions. Now, that man looked so... and I really haven't commented throughout this, and I've got a lot of comments to make throughout this article about my opinion of what I'm reading. But this is the one that I'm going to stop for, and it's the whole tasing him. That man looks so docile. I can't see him doing anything that would require law enforcement to tase him. It doesn't even seem like he has the strength to do it. So I'm curious how many times their taser has been deployed on this man. And I hope our public records gurus are out there already hitting the pavement with public record requests. I want to know incidents reports related to Richard Allen while in their custody. Sick. Okay. Give me just a second. Sorry, I'm not reading your comments. Just give me a minute and I'll try to go back and read some. So where was I? Two guards in particular were almost always by Allen's side within an earshot of conversations involving Allen, his attorney, and his wife. Their close proximity to Allen and alleged ties to the Odinism, it makes it impossible for Allen to discuss things openly with his defense team. The attorneys also allege Allen during one meeting mumbled in a somewhat incoherent fashion that Odinites were threatening him. They had not discussed the purported Odinism threat related aspect of the case to him at that point. Falsifying evidence. Allegations of pagan cult aside, the filing also cast doubt on the rationale in granting the search of Allen's residence in the first place. While Liggett applied for the search warrant in October 2022, and Carroll County Judge Benjamin Diener, I'm not sure which, approved it. The defense argues that certain details described by the witness didn't match what appeared in the affidavit. Defense attorneys said key witnesses described a vehicle what looked nothing like Allen's black Ford Focus. The same witness described a man who didn't resemble Allen. Her description involved a white male in his 20s with brown curly hair and a medium build, the subject of the composite sketch number 2. The sketch bears a little more resemblance to Allen, the attorney contends. The investigators didn't release it for more than 2 years after the killing. The original composite sketch was released within months of the Delphi murders and showed a heavier set, older individual. Nowhere in the affidavit did Liggett write that the witness described a person she encountered near the bridge bore little resemblance to Allen. The presence of Allen's Ford's Focus is also in dispute, defense attorneys argued. Allen told investigators he's arrived on the trail about 12 p.m. and left about 1:30. According to the timeline investigators had, the killings happened between 1:30 and 4. So it seems like Richard Allen was honest with him about at least being there, according to this. A witness reported seeing a different vehicle, not Allen's Ford Focus, but rather a 1965 Ford Comet parked outside of the CPS building around 2:15. But this detail was omitted in the affidavit. This is not good. If these details were omitted, that's wrong, guys. That is so wrong. That is one of those Brady Giglio issues that we are dealing with in Brian Koberger over the genetic genealogy. You know, they withheld that. So this is a major Brady issue if true. That is definitely exculpatory evidence. A separate witness reported seeing a man wearing a tan-colored coat, not a blue jacket. She also told investigators he was muddy. The affidavit, however, said the man was wearing a blue-colored jacket, blue jeans, and was muddy and bloody, with Liggett and adding the last details, not the witness. Wow. Defense attorneys contend Liggett's massaged the information to make it look like both witnesses had seen the same person when it's entirely possible in the defense view that they were different individuals. There is a reason that in a sworn affidavit, Liggett concealed key information from Judge Diner, I think it's Diner, but we'll see, and lied about the other key information. Had Diner known the hidden and falsified facts, then Diner would have never signed the search warrant. A search warrant that was already insufficient by linking Richard Allen to the murders even before Liggett's lies and deception. Ooh, it's steaming up. They're going to the mattress. The filings represented the latest legal maneuver by Allen's attorney. Now remember that. This is a legal maneuver, guys. This is not corroborated information. And we are going to discuss this after I finish reading this, my true opinion. They are asking again and seeking that their client be moved away from the Westville Correctional to a different facility. Suggestions include White County Jail or Cass County Jail for his own safety. At this time, they are advancing an alternative theory behind the killings that they believe would clear their client of wrongdoing. They're also alleging Liggett acted intentionally or recklessly when it admitted or lied about the information contained with the affidavit for the search warrant. Allen's trial is set for January 2024, according to court records. If you guys want me to be there, we can go, depending on, as long as it's not going to be affecting any Brian Koberger or Idaho 4 stuff, because this is not a case that I really we talked about this case, but it's not one that I have a lot of investigative time into, a lot of my time or resources in. It's not one, it's one that we provided updates throughout, but we didn't deep dive in it, if that makes sense. So I've always thought it was that Keegan Kline was responsible. Honestly, I since I've been reading this story up until Richard Allen's name was brought up in this case, I truly thought Keegan Kline and his father were twisted individuals and just very evil individuals. I don't see them ever changing. These are people that I believe need to be behind bars for a significant amount of time. But I always believed it was them. I always believed that that law enforcement just didn't have enough evidence because of, cleanup or whatnot, just didn't have the evidence to make the case against them. So they were going after them for, things unrelated to the case, which we see all the time. I mean, we live true crime. So it's not like these strategies law enforcement uses, we see them used all the time. So I just naturally thought that they were the people that were responsible because of the whole, this is a very convoluted case, guys. If you guys have not looked into this case, it's so convoluted, so many people. This is the one case that really lets you know how disgusting a certain underworld is, and there is an underworld of these animals. and that are preying on our children every single day and trying to find ways to get to them. And that is the most scary part about this whole entire thing. I think that the Keegans were involved with it, or excuse me, the Kleins were involved with it. I think that pretty boy police officer from Alaska, I think he's part of it somehow. This is a whole, it's disgusting. Do I believe that there's more people that could be involved in this? I believe there was. I believe they worked to help each other. So I think it was like a few people helping schedule and set this whole thing in motion to get those girls in that place to have them attacked. I truly believe that. Do I believe that the people that catfished them out there are the ones responsible for their death? No, I don't. I think they're two totally different people. That's how convoluted I think this is. I truly believe this is. There's nothing that supports my claims yet, but there's definitely this undertone that does. I'm reading this article about these claims. I honestly don't believe them. I don't. I think that this is a strategy to get their client moved. I haven't read the 130-page document, guys, so I may change my mind when I actually read the 130-page document. This is based on an article and based on somebody else's opinion. And so I'm addressing my opinion based on somebody else's, if that makes sense. So based on this article, the way I read it and processed it, the way it processed in my mind, this is to me a legal strategy to get their client moved to a different facility. Let me tell you guys, I agree with his client being moved to a different facility. I'm sorry, my heart, I want Richard Allen, if he did this, I want him going down for this crime, but I don't want him being tortured in the process, because you know what that's going to do? It's going to make people pity him. It's going to reduce his sentence, and if he did this terrible thing to these young ladies, that's the last thing I want to happen. Move him the hell out of that facility. They haven't treated him right. We all know it. We can all see it. We can all damn him to hell and think he's guilty of this, and it really makes no consequence. It's still in this country. We treat people humanely, and I'm sorry, he does not look like he's being humanely treated where he is. Moreover, I want an independent investigation of what happened to that man in that jail. I don't care if he did this to these girls or not. We do not treat people like that in our prison system. We do not. And if anybody is okay with it, you are the problem. Believe that. But whatever happened to this man in that prison, I never want to happen to another prisoner ever again. I don't care what needs to happen. I don't care what we have to do. We need to be pushing for an independent investigation of that jail and that jail alone. And I want to know his eating habits. I want to know his pooping habits. I want to know what kind of behavioral issues he had. I want a report. I think everybody should want a report. That man did not look healthy. He looked like something that I would see over in frickin' Korea. It was disgusting. And we as Americans should be ashamed of that kind of conduct being displayed anywhere in our jails. Period. I'm sorry. I think that man's a monster. I still think that man's a monster. This did not change my mind. Maybe the 130-page document will, but I still don't believe that man should be treated like that. And I will stand behind that 100. 100. We don't do that to people here in this country. We're better than that. We should be better than that. Where the body staged, you know what? From the beginning, I think that they identified that it appeared that these bodies were staged. I remember reading early on in this case, because this happened years ago. And I vaguely remember it because I've been monitoring these cases, and it was young girls, you know. I think as a female, our heart, you know, just the age of these youngins, you know, I think our heart just naturally grieves. I mean, we just naturally grieve because we can't imagine, even though we don't know, you know, many of us, thank God, by the grace of God, we don't know what these parents and families and friends are going through something like this. But we know it's not good, and our heart hurts for them because we know how painful it is. It's just hard. These girls were so young. They were just starting out in life. I can't, when I was their age, I did the same thing. You see a cute boy, you want to go meet the cute boy, you hope maybe you'll just get a peck on the lips, and it'll just be like, I'm never washing my lips again. Right? You remember those days? I know it seems so far away, but just that newness, that giddy, that the excitement, and that was robbed of those girls. And I don't know anybody that doesn't break their heart. And then not only was that robbed of those girls, then we hear of the horrible torture they went through and their little bodies, and then their families, and it's hard. And then to watch these families go through hell for years and nobody know a damn thing. Indiana, I'm sorry. And I got this for Tennessee too. Get these assholes off your streets and out of your community. I don't care how you do it. Find them and remove them. Because just like Hawkins County, Tennessee, there's a lot of them there. And it's disgusting. And giving him a slap on the wrist like Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's son got is not helping the situation. Ronnie Lawson, I've got a message for you, sir. I think your son's disgusting. I think he should be in prison. And I think you should be fired. Your community is full of corruption. And we're trying to find a missing baby girl. And while you're getting your son off the hook for playing with little girls, and you're not paying attention to a baby girl that's been missing for 2 years, where is your common sense? Why is Don Wells and Candace Bly not in jail for the atrocities they've done to their children unrelated to Summer Wells? Ronnie Lawson, this message is for you. Public service announcement. Public service announcement. And guys, in your community, I know I got a lot of people from Hawkins County that watch this channel. Fire Ronnie Lawson. You want to help Summer Wells? You want to get her job? You want to get this job done? You want to put the animal behind bars? Get the problem out of the way. The problem's Ronnie Lawson, folks. That's the problem in your community. Do you know that every single public record request goes through his hand for approval? That's not how public record requests work, folks. I hate to bring that to you. I hate to burst your bubble. I've seen some letters that went out of that sheriff's office that were so highly offensive and unprofessional that somebody's ass should have been fired. Ronnie Lawson, you're responsible for that, sir. You're responsible for turning Summer Wells' case into a shit show, sir. And until your community rises up, it's time for you to go, sir. You're not doing anything to help anyone except get your son off the hook. And that kind of sheriffing is not welcomed in this America. You guys want to do something? Remove Ronnie Lawson. You want to help Summer Wells? Remove Ronnie Lawson. That's what you guys can do. You want to help? That's what you do. Next time you have a right to vote, pick a new sheriff. As a matter of fact, if somebody in Hawkins County wants to go against Ronnie Lawson for election, I will personally come down there and run your campaign. I will personally come down there and run your campaign. I will put a plug in this channel to get that animal out of that office. We need a real law and order sheriff running that community. Somebody that's going to fight for Summer Wells and get to the bottom of what happened to her and throw her stinking parents in jail for the abuse of their children. If you know somebody that's willing to go against Ronnie Lawson, I tell you what, we will put the entire Bullhorn Betty channel behind him. We will stop with our cash apps and we will fund that person if they meet the high standards that I expect from a sheriff. I promise you, I will be out there knocking doors, walking and talking. Your community needs to be cleaned up, and you can clean it up. And the first step is getting that animal from that sheriff's position. And sorry, Ronnie, you've had your time. Your time is come and gone. I've given you well over a year. Well over a year to get your shit together and start doing something for Summer Wells. I took my foot off your neck. My foot's about to be on it. I can tell you that. Because I've got another case in Kingsport. Being able to manage two cases, one in Kingsport and one in Hawkins County, I certainly can do that. And I'm about to go up there and start searching in a couple more weeks for that young lady. And Ronnie, I'm going to be knocking on your door next. I certainly am. We want justice for Summer Wells. I'm coming back to Tennessee. We're coming back there. It's time to clean something up. Something's got to give. And Ronnie, TBI, you guys need to start talking about Summer Wells, because I'm telling you, we're sick and tired of hearing the same old bullshit coming from Camp Ronnie Lawson. What in the world is going on in the case? You've had time. You had time. Still no updates. Didn't like me in your town, but you're inviting me back, dude. Just saying. Just saying. It's time for something new, okay? It's time for something new. Guys, and I know you don't understand this stuff. Your sheriff is not doing you any good. He's corrupt as hell. He is corrupt as hell. He got his son off the hook for playing with children. We don't do that here. We don't allow that here. You want to talk, all the hate channels and want to talk about bad behavior? Why don't you guys start going after Ronnie Lawson? Talk about bad behavior. Something's got to give. Either shit or get off the pot. Move this case to the state. If you can't handle it, Ronnie Lawson, move the case to the state. Give it out. That's what we need to do, guys. I'm telling you. I told you guys this like a year ago. Everybody wants to know, have I forgotten about Summer? No, I haven't. I've just said as much as I'm going to say on it. What do you want me to do? There's nothing left to be done until law enforcement gets off their ass and puts some handcuffs on people. And quite frankly, they don't even need to arrest Don or Candace on any crimes related to Summer Wells. They have enough to arrest them on the crimes that they've done to those boys. And I've been screaming that for 2 years. Nothing has happened. They have all the proof in the world that they have neglected those children, that they have abused those children, they've smoked drugs with those children, they've given those children alcohol, and you can't find one fucking crime to arrest them on? 2 years? 2 years? Nothing? But hey, Bullhorn Betty, horrible person that I am, it's just infuriating. It really is. But I do think we need to start doing something to push this case to the state. I don't trust Hawkins County. Look, guys, listen. You know what I did? This is something I didn't tell you yet. Listen to this. Oh my gosh. I don't know how this slipped my mind. So we're out there, looking for Layla Santanello. This is what's I'm like ready to cry. So we're out there looking for Layla Santanello. And I'm going to be honest with you, some of the questions I ask people, because we have to look at this from all angles. So I know some people are going to probably clip this and just try to attack me on it. It was nothing bad. It's part of the process when we're out there looking for information, okay? So one of the questions that I ask people, and Jen, if you're watching, please change the channel right now. You can come back here in just a little bit. I ask people when I'm out there looking for Layla, I ask them all the time, if you had to pull up somewhere and dump a body, where would that be? Okay, it's a hard question to ask, and as you can see, I struggle with it when I'm out there. I take the emotion out. I ask the question point blank, matter of factly. I don't, but I got to be honest with you. It's a hard pill. It's a hard question to ask when you're out there. You're looking for a young girl. Okay, period. But you have to ask it. You got to go look, right? You got to make sure, cover all the bases. So I ask all the time, where would you, if you needed to get rid of a body, where would you do it? Where would you take it? And some people say over here, some people say over there. But one got me really, really, really deep. This one person I asked, he's like, if you really want to make a body disappear, he's like, you're going to want to take it to Hawkins County toward the Beach Creek area. I want you guys to hear that again. If you really want to get rid of a body, people know to take it to Hawkins County to the Beach Creek area. Sonia can attest to it. Sonia can attest to it. Olivia can attest to it. Mom can attest to it. The two ladies that were out there with us can attest to it. That's what they said. And that broke my heart. So now you understand. And when I told him, well, you're not going to believe it, but we've been covering another case, because I know. That's what was said. That's well known, by the way. Kind of yeah. So it's just, it's really sad. That's what was said. And it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just hard. And then coming back. Now, listen to this, guys. Not only that, not only do we have Summer Wells in Hawkins County, we now have Layla Santanello in Kingsport. And then I get this message from Mama Bullhorn this morning. Is it from Mama Bullhorn this morning? No, it's from Olivia. Sorry, from Chronicles of Olivia. I get this message of here. Listen to this. Nashville, Tennessee. 22-year-old mom from Madison, Goodlettsville area near Nashville hasn't been seen or heard from for more than a month. She was pregnant when she disappeared. This just was updated last night, right before midnight. She went missing on August 15th. Her name is Alyssa Bowden, or Bowden. I think it's Bowden. The last message she got from her daughter said, "Pray for me." So now we have 3 females, a missing mom, 20 years old, a 7-year-old that went missing at 5 years old, and now a 22-year-old mom that's pregnant. All from Tennessee. All from Tennessee. So it's heartbreaking, but I have a funny feeling when I go up there next time, I'm going to probably be making my way over to Nashville as well. But you guys need to be in the content creators box that covers Summer Wells. The ones that want to do something for Summer Wells, I'd like those content creators, let them know that I want to, kind of have a round table with all the creators that have been covering the Summer Wells case, because I think we need to have some messaging for this. I really do. I think that we need to start. We've been toying around with Hawkins County so long now. I mean, we've given them an opportunity to get this right, to bring this home, to give us something, to let us know that this case has gone cold. They're refusing to do that. I think at this point, we all need to be coming together and finding out what is the best strategy to get this out of Hawkins County's hands and into the state of Tennessee, and let the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations take this case and run this case. That's what needs to happen. We need this case in their hands. That is literally, I truly believe, the only way we're going to get Summer Wells solved. I don't think Hawkins County has what it takes. Definitely not under Ronnie Lawson's direction. and oversight. I'm sorry, I just don't. Beat me up, be mad at me, I don't care. I just don't. And I know there's a lot of creators out there that love Summer Wells, that they just want this case solved. Let's get together. Let's hatch out a plan. Let's figure out what needs to happen here. I truly believe this has got to get out of Hawkins County. If other creators believe that as well, let's start working together and figuring out what we need to do, what strategy we need to put in place to get that done. So you guys go out there, start putting that seed out to these creators that cover Summer Wells. Let's see what we can get done. Enough's enough. If they don't have any information for us after 2 freaking years, enough's enough. If they literally can't say that we have a person of interest, we're not asking for names. We're not asking for you to totally tell us the entire case and tank the case. That's not what we're asking from TBI or Hawkins County for that matter. We're asking for something. Give us a little substance to let us know you still give a damn. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Just something. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and God bless each and every one of you. Lots of information we went over, and guess what we didn't go over? We didn't go over anything Brian Kohberger related, but I have to be honest, after 3.5 hours, I need a break. You need a break. Maybe this afternoon we'll come back and get our fix on Brian Kohberger, but I need to finish up this video with Jen Santanello. I have a few other videos that I really, really need to put out just to kind of help bring awareness to Layla's case and, you know, the messaging from Jennifer about her daughter. I can promise you everything that we talked to Jennifer about, we made sure we kept it 100% about Layla Santanello. We did not address any of the drama, any of the BS, any of the noise, so to speak. We 100% kept it about Layla and nobody else, because at the end of the day, that is all that matters. So I hope you guys don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, guys, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the chat box below. God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.